Hello, everyone. We are live, and thank you. We are going to be doing a watch along for the sci-fi film Star Wars, and I am joined here by Jason. Want to introduce yourself, Jason?
I'm Jason. I'm from Backtrack Cinema, where I talk movies of the past. And thank you, Ledger, for having me on. And I just got to say, it's been nice seeing you grow as a YouTube content creator, seeing you out there doing your thing and all that. I always appreciate younger people getting into older action movies and all that kind of stuff. So thank you for having me on for this afternoon for Star Wars. Star Wars is a great movie to watch in the afternoon, actually. It's a nice
Oh yeah,
Saturday afternoon experience for sure.
yeah. Especially after I'm about to go do something else. But yeah. But anyway, of course, I do love movies of the past. Of course, First Blood is also a great one that just keeps going up. It went from my number three favorite film of all time to now my second favorite film. It just beat out T2 by a little bit. So, really excited to get down to a very old film, but a very fun film for me. Me personally, this is my favorite film in the Star Wars franchise. It's just the most rewatchable to me, and rewatchability is a lot for me. So, and let's catch up in the chat. Connor Production says, Sup, Ledger, sup. And he's asking, how has both of your guys' day been so far? It's been good. I have, I'm going to try and think of how to say this. I have several dances coming up. So I had to go out and yesterday I went to like 5 different stores because I'm like 6'2.5", 6'3", to like find a suit that would actually fit me. So I now had to get a shirt. It was definitely a lot of work. You?
Not bad. Just had to go get my wife's van oil change done. So my kids are all upstairs playing video games. My oldest is 15, so
Oh,
he's
that's
playing
my
his
age.
video games. They're having a quiet Saturday. They did some housework and I've been begging. I've been trying to get one of them on for a watch party with me, but they're a bit shy still. They're a bit shy.
Not waiting to get onto that yet.
uh
Oh, man. But yeah, so your oldest is around my age because I'm 15.
Yeah. Yeah, he's 15. He's born in January, so he just turned 15.
If
So
he was born in January, so he is
grade 9, he's
yeah,
first year
so
high
he
school
is
right now.
about a month older than me.
Yeah.
So just barely. Because I was born in February. Okay, Connor, Star Wars is my favorite movie franchise. I agree with that statement. Yeah, so do you guys would you and I'm getting my thing set up for it. Hmm. Got
I'm
my
ready
new
to go. I'm at the beginning of the 20th Century Fox. I'm
Yeah,
watching on Disney Plus, so
I missed that logo. They got a bit too CGI with it afterwards.
yeah.
It made it look too clean. I
Um
know that's a bit of a weird complaint. It's just it kind of bothers me.
yeah, I'm watching it on Disney Plus, but I pretty much own it on every kind of physical media.
Yeah, I need to. Oh, great! My internet's trying to act out. Great, come on. No, you're not playing this game with me right now. I have enough of your internet problems already as it is Disney Plus. Okay. So me just had an uneventful day. I was in a Stallone mood today, so I just decided to pop on Creed and start it. So of course that's a great one. It has one of my favorite performances by Stallone. That's one of his more dramatic roles that I of course love because Stallone, he can be fun when he does some of the more cheesy stuff like Rambo First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, Cobra. But me personally, I don't know, this is a hot take. I kind of prefer his more dramatic stuff.
Oh yeah, I love Stallone when he's serious. Um
He comes
and
across
you
more
know,
as real. That's why I still and unashamedly of this think Last Blood is fantastic. I just think that his performance is more real in that it doesn't come off so.
yeah,
Uh,
I like the emotional beats of the movie. That's what wins the movie over for me.
I know that's like
Um
the scene with. Of course, I'm not going to spoil it, but a scene involving on Drive. I think you know what I'm referring to.
yeah.
That we will keep a secret, but that scene gets very emotional, and that's one of the reasons why I love it so much because I would much rather be feel emotion in a film than feel like, "Are you kidding me? How is this guy killing this many people?" Of course, even though that is odd because I love John Rambo, and that has by a landslide his biggest body count, where he kills around over 250 people in that film.
Right.
He kills a lot. And can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
What since you said you saw John Rambo and Last Blood in theaters, right?
Yep.
So what was it like going from that very weird Rambo 3-ish to the massive tonal shift to John Rambo?
Oh, it's to me, it was more like the first one. It just did the shift. It did more of what First Blood did. 'Cause First Blood, was a serious movie. In fact, the movie scared me actually when the machete was being drawn
Oh,
across
yeah,
his
that
chest.
scared me as well.
I was only 4 years old when I watched that, so I was
4?
like, yeah, I was 4, and that part terrified me. Um,
As it should.
so I just looked at it. It went for more of a serious movie again, a serious character, and he was always a serious character. 2 and 3 just made him more of a
80s
into the
action hero.
'80s
More
action,
Arnold. More
kind of like,
Arnold-like.
yeah, and him and Arnold were competing all the time. So
I know that he's gone on record to say that, but I mean, was it a bit shocking that tonal shift where you go from like Rambo 3 where it's so cheesy and the opening to that
not
is
not once I saw the
shocking?
trailer, not once I saw the trailer for Rambo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you saw the
Then I
trailer.
said, "Oh man, I see the tone they're going for." And after you watch Rocky Balboa, I think you understood. Okay, Stallone wasn't doing these
I
cheesy movies no more until he did Expendables, and it was more like a love letter to those movies.
I just
So
rewatched Expendables in preparation for my ranking thing I've been doing, but
yeah,
I always have fun with that. It's so dumb and cheesy, but it's just so fun.
yeah, they make it work though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I love all those one-liners and stuff, and just everyone being so fun. Like, and I just forgot how much fun Arnold is, and because he's only in
Oh
one scene,
yeah,
but he is fun in that one scene, and he is like the most quotable guy ever. But oh man, the chat's actually going pretty wild. Victory, Drew. Hey everyone, what's up? Doing good. Uh, Film Kid. Hey,
hey, film kid,
Drew. Drew? You excited? He's referring to he's doing a watch along with Drew for the Shawshank Redemption today.
nice,
So yeah, I
nice,
love that film.
so
Drew,
good.
I'm super excited. Yes. Mm. DJ Dix, I know you don't love The Godfather like a lot of other people do. Oh no. But what are some things you do like about The Godfather?
He likes everything about The Godfather. Don't let him fool you.
Oh, I I genuinely after watching that film was like, is this the film that people have been talking about? Because I was not a big fan of it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 because I respect some of the stuff, but I thought it was so long for no reason. It is so boring, and I hated most of the characters. I don't think they're
Really?
very
Oh my
likable.
god, man, I love that movie.
I
Love
know,
that movie.
I know. I saw that you gave it a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and
Yeah,
I'm so like, serious. Are you kidding me?
it's
Why am
it's
I on an island?
yeah, because you'd have to imagine yourself in the time it came out of. No one, it was shocking, that movie.
Yeah,
Not
I
that I
know.
saw it in the '72, but if you just look at what was around. I mean, that horse head scene must have just people must have just been shocked about that. Like,
It definitely can be disturbing.
and I like how the whole family, everyone's a little different, and it's
Yeah.
acting, right? It's all acting. The performances are just incredible.
The performances are good from some people. I won't fault it for that. I would just say that the person that plays Adrian in that film, I think she's significantly better in the Rocky films.
Oh, she's way better in the Rocky films because she's she. Did you watch Godfather 2?
I haven't gotten onto that one yet. I'm
Okay,
going
she's a
to.
lot better in that movie.
Oh, she is?
She's a little bit more broken in that movie. She's
Yeah. Do you
and
remember that scene where that guy's beating? Was it her that he was beating, or do you remember the
the
scene where that
husband.
guy beats the woman?
Yeah, that's her. She's just smashing dishes and stuff.
Yeah, I
I
considered
get
turning
it.
it off after that.
I get that. She may have been little, pushing it over the top a little bit on
I
that,
mean,
but
I know, and it's not my problem with their acting. It was just that was so dramatically just not my thing. Seeing
yeah,
her being abused like that, I hate it when things that always pull my. I always have a trigger for things like something that Alien versus Predator Requiem seriously tested was like babies being killed or like women and
yeah, that
children
was
like being hurt.
that was a
Oh, that
dumb
was horrible.
scene. That was a
Yeah,
stupid scene in that movie.
and it
Um,
it doesn't to do anything to the actual plot.
yeah,
But I hate that, and when you get, like, women just being abused heavily, I do not like that, so that I considered turning it off after that because it was just so not my thing to see that, but I gave it a watch. Maybe when I'm older, I'll
yeah,
get it more.
yeah. You'll find you're gonna mature into a taste that you like. Like, I mean, I just imagine myself at 15, at 14. What is different than what I am now? Let's put it that way. Um, Much different. At your age, I was starting to feel things in movies now. Like
Yeah,
that's why Forrest Gump, Braveheart were so impactful on me because I
I
saw them when I was your age.
I started
And
Braveheart. I need to
yeah,
finish it.
yeah, and that movie impacted me large. Braveheart. That's one of the best movies I've ever seen. But at the age I wrote a essay on it too. I had to do it for a school project.
Lucky you get to write essays on movies. I have to do them on so many horrible books, like, I've had to read, like, The Scarlet Letter. I've had like did you read The Scarlet Letter?
No, we never read that one.
That don't ever read that one. That one was horrible.
Yeah,
Eh,
the we I took something called English media in grade 10, and where I went to school, they a guy had a farm he put into a theater. He converted his farm into a movie theater, and he still has it. It still runs to this day. And Braveheart was playing, so we went and saw it. We had to write an essay on it though. And so we saw it, and then I had to do what I do in my reviews. Essentially, I had to break down the plot, the characters, and all that. And I got a perfect score on it. I got a 20 out of 20 on it.
no wonder
So
you're always so good at these reviews. Are you
it's
gonna
a
see it
work.
on its re-release next year?
Uh, yeah, it's 95, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, maybe I'll think about it.
I'm gonna try to. I'll probably need to like force my dad, beat him, find some way to do it. Just keep bothering him and pestering him because I want to see that. I bought the film, but seeing that in the theater will be impactful. I bought that in a pack with Gladiator, and I've seen Gladiator before.
That's a good one too.
Oh yeah. Hasa says most iconic movie all time. Maybe he's talking about The Godfather. Yeah, DJ says when you're older, you'll love The Godfather. Probably more than I do now, although it's not that hard to because I was not a big fan. Connor, I watched The Godfather for the first time last week and I absolutely loved it. Why am I on an island? Connor, what's your favorite MCU and DCEU movie? I mean, we don't want to keep Jason waiting too long because we do need to start this film, but we'll try and hurry this up and then we'll do it. Okay, so you want to go first?
What's my favorite MCU? Hard decision, man. The Avengers is really good. I do
The
really
original,
like the Avengers. Oh, actually, I like the Hulk too. The
The
Incredible.
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I love that one. So that would have come out after Iron Man, right?
It did.
Yeah, and Man of Steel for DCEU easily.
Okay, with context, I have never seen the Suicide Squad or Zack Snyder's Justice League, so for DCEU, I'm going with like you said, Man of Steel. And for MCU, I always go back and forth between Infinity War and Endgame, but Endgame had that Thor and Hulk plot line that I despise, so I'm gonna go with
Me
Infinity.
too.
I did not like that. I don't even
uh,
think I liked it when I first saw it.
Civil War is good too, and
Oh, Civil War and Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier is really good.
Like they also Winter Soldier was like right around the time Marvel was going less for like superheroes and they were like adding more like subgenres like Ant-Man is like more of a heist film and a superhero film combined. Winter Soldier's more of this like 70s political thriller. So they were like putting in more subgenres and it felt very great and refreshing. Today is the 16-year anniversary for Hot Fuzz.
I haven't seen it.
Interesting. I haven't either. Film kid, I love The Godfather. Austin, no, I was talking about Star Wars. I would choose that is the most iconic movie. Oh, then in that case, it might be. DJ, I saw The Godfather when I was 13 and I loved it. Okay, in that case, I have no excuse at this point. I get it.
Hey,
I
you
get
know
it. You
what?
all
We
want to.
have I'm not a mafia fan really. I'm not really huge into the genre,
I am
but The
not.
Godfather, I could easily say, yeah, that's the best one for my money. But I also am a huge fan of Casino, and I really like that Johnny Depp one he did, Black Mass. I really like that one too.
Yeah, and I hope it doesn't bother you that I don't have my profile thing on.
No, no, it's okay. It's okay. I get it.
Okay.
You know, I'd cover my kids up too if they were doing a YouTube channel.
DJ, the way you feel about The Godfather is like how I feel about The Social Network. I give The Social Network 3.5 out of 5. I find
I never saw that. It's an interesting movie though.
I
But
need to. The only David Fincher film I've seen is Alien 3, which I despise for obvious reasons because I love Alien so much. And 7. I've seen those two.
yeah,
7
sevens.
blew me away. I was not expecting it to be as disturbing as it was because I didn't hear much about it. And wow, I got an education in some. I got an education. Let's just say that.
Mm.
Have you seen 7?
Oh, I've seen seven. It's been years, but I've seen it.
Oh
I
yeah,
was
that.
supposed to review it in January when I was doing thrillers, but that January ended up being a really slow month for me.
Hmm.
I'm kind of getting ahead of the game right now, so yeah. But I was supposed to review it, so I'll go back to it one time.
But I'll tell you this: the most of those the things that the kills that they have, like sloth, gluttony, and the
Yeah,
one that they have. Sloth and gluttony got to me big time. The one that probably made me actually want to actively turn it off was I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been Lust, the one with the let's just say toy. Let's just say the one that kills the woman that we don't see, we hear about from the guy.
yeah.
That I don't want to get demonetized, so I'm not gonna say, but that was horrid to watch and or just listen to.
Well, you know, good movies are supposed to strike something inside you where you don't want to watch things again. So
Yeah,
sometimes you need that in a movie to push the art form. Like there's movies that are fantastic, but I wouldn't watch them again for the context or for the context they're in. It just depends.
yeah. And Connor, my favorite MCU movie is Infinity War. My favorite DCU movie is the first Aquaman. That's a very cheesy and dumb film, but it can be fun. DJ, since you mentioned that your profile's not on, are you not allowed to? No, I am not because my parents think that people can track me, which in theory they can. They can you can track people if you get enough of their face, but yeah. So do you want to get this thing started?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I will tell on 3 I will have us resume. So on 3, ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Hmm, wasn't it? Oh, wait. And dang it. Hold on, can you pause for a second? Why is
Yep.
why are my earbuds not? Great, now they're having a moment. Come on. Connect. Come on. Fine, I'll have to use the other one. Sorry about this. I was not expecting this to come up.
Oh, it's all right.
Especially since I just charged them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get new headphones myself. Like my cat keeps eating them. The wires.
Of all the things for I know cats like to eat a lot of stuff. I did not expect them to eat headphones.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that kill them?
Well, he's chewed through the wire a bit, but they're still working.
Hmm. Interesting. Do you ever have you ever had a dog?
No.
Hmm. And you actually have a shirt of your own channel? How did you do
Yeah.
that?
I got it made at the mall. There's a place at the mall. I just got the this.
That's actually
So
really
I made some for my kids. So they wear them to school. So
being very proud of their dad. Like,
right.
yeah, none of you losers have an actual dad that has a channel.
Maybe not this kind of channel anyway.
I mean, what are you talking about? You get to see awesome films like First Blood, Die Hard, just any action movie from the 80s.
Yeah. That
Okay,
was the
now
idea.
now if my headphones want to actually work, okay, and I will resume on 3. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. There.
We good?
I love
Imagine yourself being in the '70s and seeing this logo,
I
how they
know.
do this.
It was like, who was the genius that thought of this? Of course, George
Star Wars.
Lucas, who's been getting a lot of hate lately because of the prequels that a lot of people don't like. But in hindsight, after the sequels, most people are like, "Are we ready to admit that the prequels are a masterpiece?"
Yeah. I
I
don't
always love
consider the
that.
prequels great, and I don't consider the new one's got a lot of problems, but,
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna try on May the 4th to do a ranking of all the movies. So this is good that we're watching this. Not that I need
Mhm.
a rewatch of this, I know where I would place it, but it's some of the other ones I'm not, um like, I'm actually a huge fan of Rogue One, and I'm a
Mhm.
huge I like Solo. I don't care what people say. I thought it was a fun movie,
I mean,
Solo, so
I'm mixed on Solo at certain and with certain elements. It does answer a lot of questions that I don't care about. Like I don't care how he got the Millennium Falcon,
yeah.
how he got his name Solo. I felt like that part was very forced and stupid. But there's fun stuff about it. Although I did not like Rise of Skywalker, I'll tell you
I don't
that.
think my son did, though.
I know. I
My other son, he's 12, and, he liked it, but we watched The Flash, and we said, "This is stupid." We both looked at each other and said, "This is a dumb movie."
I, I enjoyed the Flash up until the third act. The third act falls apart.
I guess we're just in for a CGI fest for everything now, so
Oh yeah, man. Why can't they just get back to practical
like,
effects?
look at this, look at these models.
I
How
know.
like, look how well this holds up. It's such
A
an
lot of people
iconic
like to say that this like looks horribly dated now, but it's not.
I don't.
I actually think it holds up in a lot of ways.
I think it really holds up, and it's the way they shoot it, right?
Yeah, I know. Give me these effects over the stuff in the Flash any day.
Yeah, and it's so iconic too.
I know.
They throw you right into the story. You're like, "Okay, wow, we're right into it."
Yep. No time to breathe.
I consider this one of the most iconic scenes of all time,
Oh
right?
yeah.
This coming up, like, this whole beginning.
This is one of the ones I grew up with. I grew up with Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, Phantom Menace, and this one.
Empire is my favorite. Empire will always be my favorite, I think. But
Empire was a bit dark for me.
it's, I love it for that, though. It's so
I
good for
know.
that.
I need to
Um,
rewatch it. It could change. It could go to
yeah,
my number one.
and but I'm a Yoda and Darth Vader fan. I like those characters the most. So Empire, look who's in it the most.
Oh yeah.
Yoda and Darth Vader. So it really works for me. Always has. I remember my mom putting that on when I was little on the VHS. I wasn't allowed to touch the VHS player because I would jam the tape in, right, and wreck thing. So she would always put it in. I'd be watching that 3 times a day, like, I'm 3 years old. Like, it's
Oh
crazy.
man, yeah.
This one I always found a bit boring. Even when I was a
Interesting.
kid, I found the pacing was a little,
Wonky.
um, wonky. Yeah, and I feel like I said in my review of this, I feel like, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill really didn't have a handle on their characters yet. They didn't
Yeah,
know what
they
to
feel
really
like
do
they're
with
not as
them.
comfortable yet.
Not yet, but Empire, they nailed it down.
They're natural in it. Especially like Mark Hamill, you can tell he gets a bit whiny at certain points, which a lot of people have made fun of. Where he is a bit of an issue in this one. But I mean, I still love it. It's easily in my top. I think this is in my top 10 of all time. Along with like things like Skyfall, Casino Royale,
I
First Blood, Die
I
Hard.
don't remember watching this one as a kid as much. I remember watching Empire and Return of the Jedi the most.
Yeah. I always watched most of the prequels the most. I don't know why I got more of a grip on those ones. And
Oh,
as
there
I've
he
gotten
is.
older, I've matured more into these ones.
Such a great character, Darth Vader. Look at this.
Oh yeah. He's probably the most iconic character of all time.
I would say he's the best villain of all time for sure.
He's
Me.
I'm being objective, he's the best. My favorite's probably Hans Gruber from Die Hard,
Yeah.
but
Well, if you talking action movie villains, I would say, yeah, Hans Gruber is kind of somebody everyone copies, right?
oh yeah, but you've also got great ones like Heath Ledger's the Joker. You've got Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men, who is
Yeah.
terrifying, I'll say.
He was really good in Skyfall,
Oh
I
yeah, he
thought too.
was. He's one of the best parts. He's also pretty scary in that one when he wants to be.
This one's very child friendly too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Whereas Empire went for more of a darker turn, but still kids can watch it. It's nothing. It wasn't too
It's
dramatic
more
that you couldn't
mature.
watch
Like
it.
grown-ups get him more. Sorry, can't die here. Need to finish this film, then I can die. Okay, there.
Just love it.
That always kind of scared me as a kid.
Done.
I always got pretty scared as a kid. Like I watched the preview for the first two Child's Play films and was traumatized. I couldn't sleep
Yeah,
alone for
that
probably
movie
7 years.
was. I remember being a kid in 1988 and seeing that movie, and this the way Chucky comes up from the couch and stuff. It's just that was yeah, it was pretty terrifying for its time.
Now, of course, they're a bit cheesy.
I
Cheesy.
may I may be reviewing that next month because I'm doing slashers from the 80s. Um, so I'm not sure. I have a list I'm gonna pick through, but we'll see.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was looking on Letterbox, you weren't a big fan of Bride of Chucky. I see.
Not really. It's fun. It's fun. Like keep in mind when I do those letterbox things, that could have been from a year ago or the last time I watched it. Sometimes it changes.
So you just need to rewatch Quantum of Solace and give it that 4 stars it deserves.
It didn't
All
quite
right.
make 4 stars for me, but it was good. It's not bad. That's not a bad movie
I know. I
at
keep
all.
telling people when they say that's the worst Bond film, I know they have not watched half of them because they do not know the level of horrific quality that comes with James Bond.
I
Like,
can
there's
already
some,
tell you, I haven't watched all of the Bond movies. Like, I mean, from everyone. I'm talking Connery, all of them, right? And I can tell you, Quantum of Solace. If that's the worst one, then I'm in for.
oh yeah, you're in
Yeah,
for a
that's it.
treat.
Can't be. It can't be.
That's inhuman. Like Moonraker, I know, which I know you've seen. That one's pretty bad.
That's your daddy, girl. That's your daddy. Of course, we don't know that yet.
We don't find that out until Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi was my first movie I ever went to.
You
I
saw
was
that in the
4
theater?
in the theater at 4 years old when it originally came out.
What? Why couldn't I have been born in the 80s or
Like,
70s?
yeah, so I was born in '79.
Oh yeah, so you did see it.
Yeah, I
You
saw
ever
it in
see it?
83.
Sorry if you hear my ring camera go off. I'm putting my phone on silent. I'm making a list of the next. Ah! No, that's not on private. Hold on. People can't see this. It'll be okay there.
It looked very World War II Nazi. The
I
uniform.
know he does. Did you hear my dogs barking as well? Sorry.
It's all right.
One of them is a very big lob mouth.
Yeah, most of this takes place in the desert. This movie.
As soon as we get into Tatooine, I loved it. It's like I think that this is one of my most rewatchable movies.
Well, this movie's the most iconic. I think you just think of
It
the
is.
how iconic um some of the scenes are, but Empire is like from
It's.
the
I mean,
from
it
the
has the most
writing to the
iconic
sits.
thing with like
Yeah,
the
and
Luke, "I'm your father," which
yeah, Empire. I
nobody
just
else
love how
has.
it's shot. It's shot so well. I think it's directed better. I think it's just I think George Lucas is really good with world building and
Yeah.
but some of his writing and I don't think he works with actors
Oh,
well.
his writing is pretty horrible when he does
Yeah,
like
like
that comes. They expose that in the prequels.
he didn't know how to direct Hayden Christensen with
No,
that
he did
character,
not.
I think. I think if you had a better director, that would have been a much better performance.
And just take out all the stuff about sand. We don't care about sand. I'm gonna be on mute for a second.
C3PO could be so annoying though. In a good way, everyone, in a good way. R2 squawking and squealing. And I believe this was filmed in Israel somewhere. I'm not sure.
Oh, it was?
I think so.
Yeah, I'll be 1 second. I'm there we go.
Connor Production says he can't find me on Letterbox. I
Oh,
can't remember what my Letterbox is, guys.
I'll put it in the comments.
Yeah, thanks.
Maybe it's a bit sad that I know your letterbox account more than you do, but
I just go on to give them the stars, but it
yep.
also gives you a precur. Like if you go on my ranking list, you're gonna know them before I do the videos.
Oh
I
yeah.
keep forgetting that. Oh, maybe some people actually watch that. Look at this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very popular thing. You may get a bit infuriated by one thing that Jason has where I know of course he didn't like Creed 3, but the thing that really would offend me was that he gave Creed 3 a 2.5, but he gave 50 Shades of Grey and 50 Shades Darker a pass.
Yeah, I did. I'm a little bit older though, so
I know, but a lot of
I
people
okay. But put it this way, I would have even 10 years ago, I would have given those movies a real fail. But and they're not good. Don't get me wrong.
oh yeah, I
But
know
but
that.
Creed 3 just pissed me off. That's the problem with it.
Interesting. I actually thought it was decent. I after Rocky 5, that's my least favorite of the bunch, but I did still enjoy it.
It just doesn't feel anything Rocky. It doesn't feel anything.
That's
It
it
feels
also
so bleak. It's so bleak. I hated the fights in it, like
all
the fighting.
the fights were pretty terribly choreographed, I'll
And
say.
you know that's and you said rewatchability. I just have no desire to rewatch that movie like
I
ever
mean,
again.
like I really want to rewatch like uh Creed 1 and 2 all the time. 3 there's Stallone missing from it, so it doesn't make me want to rewatch as much.
I think they should. If you want to continue Rocky, I think they should Cobra Kai it.
Oh yeah, that would
So
be
they
a good
should do
idea.
like a Rocky running a gym for kids and boxing, and there's a rival gym and something like that. I think could really work. Actually,
It could be feel a bit uh it could feel a bit, what is it? Cliche, but and like
yeah. I
predictable,
mean,
but
I guess you'd have to approach it
um,
differently than Cobra Kai. I guess
you
maybe.
can put on the poster. Do not watch Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I see things in Cobra Kai that are ripoffs from Rocky. So,
Yeah, fair.
but it's a good show. I like it.
I haven't seen Cobra Kai yet. I've only seen the original Karate Kid.
Oh, Cobra Kai is really good.
I need to
He
get
did a
onto it.
really good job on it.
I bet.
These freaking Jawas, man, they're hilarious.
Yeah, they're kind of the punchline to a lot of jokes.
That's what's so cool with this movie is all the alien species you see and
Yeah, this
droids
is
and
what you call great world building.
great world building. Yeah, because you start asking questions: where these things come from? Um, and he didn't have the money to
Other
expand this world very much. But in Empire, we got a little bit more, and then Return of the Jedi, we got a little bit more. He really expanded the world in the prequels. That's
oh
what
yeah,
he did a really good job on that.
he did a good job on that in the prequels. And did you see any of the prequels in the theater?
Everyone,
Oh, so you've seen after so you've seen Return so you've seen a lot of Star Wars films in the theater?
I've seen them all except for this one. I wasn't alive.
What about
Um,
Empire? You saw Empire in the theater?
well, I'm not sure. I don't remember Empire in the theater. So sorry, I haven't seen. I seen Return to the Jedi and on all in the theater.
Lucky.
Yeah, and me and my buddy used to go every Christmas to watch the next Star Wars movie. Um,
Oh.
Now they've kind of like they're all shows now, and
Ugh,
I've lost
man,
track. And I haven't been terribly happy of how they've handled. I like the
I am
Mandalorian, but
Mandalorian, they fell off in the
it's
3rd season, I did not
overload.
like.
It feels like overload now. It feels like there's too much Star Wars now.
It's the same thing with Marvel. They've been going for quantity instead of quality. They don't feel like
Hey,
it's natural anymore, and they don't
well, like
justify it all.
it's like the Apes films. They let it breathe for a while, then they've done another one now.
Yeah,
You
I
know what I
know.
mean? Like it was a successful trilogy. They let it sit for what? It's been what, 5 years at least. But
War came out in 2017, so it's been longer.
it's been longer, and that's the way to do it
Been
though.
6, I think.
You let it sit, you don't overdo it too much, and now we're ready for it again, right?
We're getting a new trilogy. I'm actually gonna see Kingdom, I think, in the theater. I'm also gonna try and see Romulus because we're doing another we call ourselves the genre challengers. We're trying to find a different name. We're sorry guys, we need to find some sort of name, but so we're doing a ranking, and Planet of the Apes, the new trilogy will be in there along with we're gonna put in Kingdom, and Aliens also gonna be in there, so we're also gonna be putting in Romulus. So I'm gonna need to see Romulus in the theater.
Nice.
And I now need to remember what else we talked about. One other thing, some other like trilogy or something that I need to put in.
That's awesome.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
as you know, I'm going through the Apes right now, so I wanna
I need
try
to
and get them
catch
all
up.
done before it comes out.
Catch up. I've only seen the original, and what's the sequel after that? I can't remember. Is that
Beneath.
Beneath? Yeah, Beneath.
So I just released the last one of the original series, so
Yeah,
Battle for Planet of the Apes,
I'm not
and
looking forward to the. I'm not looking forward to the remake. I heard that one was horrible.
the remake, yeah, that's my next one, actually, that's the next one I gotta review.
Good luck, based on what people have been telling me.
It's not good. But it's not horrific. It's boring, that's the thing with it, it's
Ah, I hate boring films.
yeah, you're gonna you may like it, though, I don't know, like, it came out in 2001. It just doesn't feel like a Tim Burton movie.
Oh, that's good because I'm not a big fan of his style.
Yeah, it's not like a Beetlejuice kinda thing, you know
Like
what I mean?
gothic and stuff. Like
I
Beetlejuice
like
is
it
another
personally.
one, but
I love it personally. I love Tim Burton, but that one doesn't. That feels more. It feels more like a summer blockbuster cliche movie.
that might have been why you were. Is that why you're such a big fan of Batman '89?
Oh, I saw it in '89, so
You
and we
saw
never
you saw
saw
a lot of
Dark
movies.
Batman before. I actually like Batman Begins over Batman '89. If
I
I'm
do too.
being truthful,
I keep going back and forth between Begins and The Dark Knight because I've been lately being a bit exposed to the bad side of the fan base of The Dark Knight. So
yeah,
I keep getting more
I'm
and
a
more
sucker
okay.
for a good origin story, though.
Yeah, I know.
So
Also, Batman Begins is a better Batman film because The Dark Knight isn't a Batman film. It's just a great film. There's not really anything that makes it distinct as a Batman film. You could say that the relationship between Joker and Batman, but that could just be between this very messed up criminal. So there's one argument knocked down. So easy. Okay, I need to catch up on this chat. That okay. It was way better
want
than
to
the
go
second
get some
one.
power converters, man.
Yeah, that's one of the things a lot of people like to complain about. Hosta, I'm going to post a list on Letterbox for sci-fi genre challengers, not a ranking. It's just so you can see what to watch. Film Kit has approved. Yes, thank you because I was trying to find the other one. I have everything, but please do that.
Um, I'm Austin from SBC Unleashed. We did last summer. Um, we did the sci-fi action
Yes,
specialist.
we saw
Uh,
that. We're trying. We're not copying you. We have several in there. We have a lot actually
yeah,
in there that, but we're putting a few others in there to make it distinct, so we're not just like copywriting you. Even if you guys won with a lot of
I've
quality.
never done one myself. I'm just he usually invites me to collab with it. If I was to do one, um, I'd like to. I'm trying to review them all first, but sometimes I don't. So it's just one of those things. But
Yeah,
it's
but
fun though. It's fun ranking franchises together.
so far looks like I think Terminator's on here, so I know what my number one is going to be on this list, and I know what my last is going to be on this list because
Funny.
I freaking despise the third film.
Oh, dude, I hate it. Well,
I
you know that. You know.
Yeah, I do. I've been very public with my immaturity about how much I actively despise that film.
Yeah, have you watched the show, the Sarah Connor Chronicles?
I have not.
It's I'm reviewing. I'm editing the review right now for season 1 of the Sarah Connor Chronicles. It's my new T3. That's what T3 should have been. It's really good. You should try
Oh,
and watch it.
the second you were like, "It's my new T3," I was like, "Oh no, no, no,
Yeah,
no!"
it has a girl Terminator, which is handled way better.
Oh, thank God,
Um,
that was
it
so humiliating.
retreads T2 a bit, but has some unique
Dark Fate
ideas in it.
retreads T2 and Dark Fate's decent.
Hey, Austin. Speaking of Austin, right in
Yeah,
the
I
chat
was
there.
just about to highlight that. We got Austin's like, "Jason." Yes, he is in here. Connor, I wonder
Watching
why.
New Hope, brother. Watching a New Hope.
Yeah, I just named it Star Wars because that's my preferred title. It's just Star Wars. Connor, I wonder why Sony wanted the jack offs that wrote Morbius to write Madam Web. LOL. Oh, I hated Madam Web.
So this is the original. That's a hard case VHS.
That's a
Star
VHS.
Wars. It doesn't say New Hope. It says just Star Wars.
That's a VHS.
Yep.
History there. I've never seen a VHS before. Looks really cool.
It even says here. I'll take it out. Bought it used. It even says please rewind.
Oh man. Don't remind me of the Flash, LOL.
Yeah, tell me
It's
about
fine.
it.
Very mediocre, I'll give you that. Connor, my favorite Star Wars movie is Return of the Jedi, and worst one, in my opinion, is The Rise of Skywalker. It got worse.
See, you know what? There are things in Rise I do like though, and I'm gonna back J.J. Abrams here and say he tried to get out of that mess of the last
Yeah,
one.
I know, I
Um,
know. I don't blame him. It was that Last Jedi screwed things up. There was no plan, obviously, so he tried to fix it, and
yeah,
he
a lot of people would disagree with me, but I think I love the idea of Rey being a Palpatine. I don't like the idea that the Emperor come back,
Mm-mm,
but I like
mm-mm,
the
mm-mm.
idea that she came from dark blood, like the
I think that's a good idea.
and I like the ending where she says, "No, I'm a Skywalker." I like that. I'm not, and I like that when Princess Leia died and Chewie lost his shit and stuff like that. I thought that was there was moments in it I liked. It's just very
Cohesive film.
convoluted and you could tell there were just things were happening out of nowhere and
They paid respect to Carrie Fisher. I'll give you that.
but there's things I like about it. There's things I like about every Star Wars movie though. Even the worst ones.
Hmm. I mean, Last Jedi. It's a pretty bad film, but it's visually stunning.
Yeah, it's shot well.
Oh yeah, it's shot well. It's
But
just
none of that means anything when the story and characters are handled
oh yeah, no,
badly.
I loved Last Jedi as a kid. That was one of my favorites, and the way that it just went up and then it just shot down was almost hilarious. I see what you mean. LOL. Okay. Austin says, "Hell yeah, yeah." I think Morbius is worse. I need to get on to Morbius.
I haven't seen any of those. I'm not a big fan of Spider-Man as a character. He's not like
Wow.
one of my favorites, but I do like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films.
Yeah, I enjoy
Even
the
the
first
third
two.
one
I'm
I
not a
can
big
even
fan of the
enjoy.
third. I'm not a big fan of the third one.
My son loves it. All the worst
My
movies my
biggest
kids
problem
like.
is it's my biggest problem is because I can't stand MJ in any of them. She's just such an
Yeah,
emotional manipulator. She's just such a cheapskate. I despise her. So, and that is by far the one where she is turned up to the most obnoxious. So
right.
that and like the emo Peter Parker thing that they do that has become probably the biggest meme on earth by now. But it at least knows what it is at times. Did you see the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies?
My son made me watch them, and I appreciate them a lot more now.
Hmm.
I thought the first one was really good.
I do too. I
I
think the
like the
second
darker
one gets a
tone.
lot
I
of
like that tone they went for in it.
yeah. I like a lot of people weren't ready for it because it only came out like 5 years after Spider-Man 3, so people didn't know how to what to think of it. But I enjoy them, and I think the second one gets a lot of hate for some things. Some of them are valid,
Yeah,
but it's not horrible. And the emotion at that end, like that is a gut
yeah.
punch.
Here we go. The nobody kid, or who we think is a nobody, wants adventure.
Yeah.
Luke didn't. Luke started as someone who, this is someone you do not train. Like, you know what I mean? Like a guy
Yeah.
who just wants that excitement, the adventure, and
He thinks
he's a
it.
knee
He's
jerk
like Anakin.
reaction. Great
He's
shot here,
not
great
smart.
music though. Love how iconic this is.
Oh man, this is debatably my favorite scene in all of Star Wars. I love the score in this, like in this scene.
Well, he feels he's made for much more than just being a farmer,
Yeah,
which is a relatable thing to put in a character, especially for young people.
man. This is among like things. This is among like some of the most iconic, just sci-fi movies, like things like Blade Runner, Terminator. Of course, this is the most iconic of all of them. But
I want to rank all the Star Wars movies and all the Star Trek movies together someday.
yeah, I've always kind of been like at arm's length with Star Trek. Never seen any of them, and I've always been they feel like they sound like they're a Star Wars knockoff. So I've never gone into them. So
Oh, they're way before Star Wars.
I mean, they came out in the '60s. I know.
Yeah, but the Star Trek is more sci-fi. This is more fantasy. So that's the difference between both of them.
I tried to tell my buddies that to put down the ranking, but no, it's apparently too much like sci-fi. Ugh.
This isn't sci-fi at all.
I know. That's what I was
I mean,
trying to
there's
tell them.
space, but Star Trek is more science fiction.
I was
Um,
trying to tell them that.
um, I would never put this in a science fiction. Um, sorry, sci-fi fantasy. Let's just say that.
Hmm.
See ya, Connor.
Oh, thank you, by the way, Connor. Well, that's going to be it for me. Take care, Ledger, and backtrack. Thank you very much for being here, man. The main problem I had with it was Palpatine that he had to impregnate someone after he got his face all messed up in Revenge of the Sith. That is, I don't want to think about that. But I can never unsee Rise of Skywalker after hearing that.
Yeah, I mean, it has problems for sure. And I think Ben Solo should have stayed a bad guy. I think that was the original intent. I
He
don't
was a
think he was
bad guy.
ever. I don't think
Yeah.
he ever should have come to the good side because that was so cliche.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I did feel like that was like, are you kidding me? I could have
that
predicted
was
that.
forced. I think he was supposed to stay bad. Like he
Nope,
was supposed
he
to.
was in the
I mean,
death.
he killed his dad. Come on, man.
You killed Han Solo. You are not redeemable.
I don't know. It's a mess. This is why you have to think things through, man. When you take on a trilogy or any kind of story like that, think what you're doing. Think who you're bringing in
They
as a
thought on their
director.
feet. They
Like
made
just
a
think of,
masterpiece with the Force Awakens. Afterwards, they kind of fell off.
at
I was
least the prequels had
they felt
consistent
consistent in
storytelling,
of
right?
themselves. Yeah, they felt consistent. And they're actually please charge. I already charged these things. Oh, now my earbuds are wanting to be mean to me. Fine. Let's see.
Um, Sam, people are pretty iconic too.
Oh yeah, they are.
So
It's like,
coming up, I have a buddy, Caleb, which you've seen on my show lots of times.
mhm.
He says this on his show. He always goes, "Hello there." It's because he loves Obi-Wan Kenobi so much. So he always goes, "Hello there."
I love that. I love that. I love that scene where he just like casually just like jumps off of like that crazy height, lands and just is like, "Hello there."
Yeah.
That is, I always love that.
Yeah, Alec Guinness really sold this character and really created it as an old Obi-Wan.
I think that I might prefer. I think I might prefer. Who is it?
Ewan
Ewan
McGregor.
McGregor, but he's been in it more. He was only in this once, so you can't really compare him. But
He set his personality here though. I
yeah,
guarantee you Ewan McGregor studied this movie.
yeah, you can tell.
As much as I like the Obi-Wan show too, I'm like, they kind of force things in there, like Princess Leia as a girl, a little girl hanging out with
Yeah, that's
Obi-Wan. Did that really happen? Because it's like he doesn't even recognize her here. Like,
yeah, I know that.
they just they're retconning things. That's all to tell their story.
Also, how does Obi-Wan not recognize R2? Or does he? But
Unless his memory was wiped.
that would explain a lot, except for the fact that he can remember so many other things like the Clone Wars and all that he
Yeah,
talks about.
I love this moment.
Oh yeah.
Like the dialogue.
Yeah,
Once Obi-Wan shows up, it starts getting really interesting.
yeah. I wasn't as big of a fan of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't love it.
And then Harrison Ford takes over the movie, really.
Hmm?
Once Han Solo shows up.
Oh
Once
yeah,
Han Solo shows up, it's
he's the scene
yeah,
stealer.
yeah, he's got swagger and everything, right?
He's suave. Quick question: have you ever seen any of the Bond films in the theater?
None.
Oh,
I was never big on Bond, and it wasn't my thing. So I got the Sean Connery box set, so I was gonna start there
it could get
eventually.
rough
Eventually. Oh, I
after
bet. I bet.
Thunderball.
After 30 movies, I would imagine there was some.
Oh, after Thunderball, it gets really rough. Like you only live twice, which is a bit racist and is not a very good film. You get Diamonds Are Forever, which is really bad, and you can tell Connery is old in that one. And then Never Say Never Again. I've legitimately wanted to kill myself watching it. It was that. Do you know how Connery looks in The Last Crusade?
Yeah.
Apply that just with a wig that makes him look like he's in his 20s or 30s. It
Oh God.
looks just it's distracting.
Yeah. So Obi-Wan's pretty much our exposition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Telling the story, what a Jedi is, what this is, what that is. We're gonna see an old school lightsaber, the first.
There's one thing I don't like about it is that I was like, why is it only in this one, not never like Empire, just the rest? But that's like since they didn't know what to do with it, yeah, they'll like have a green thing pop up, and then have you ever noticed that?
Yeah. Eh,
It's because of like the CGI that they used wasn't perfect.
I don't know how they did this back then, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Looks okay to me though.
yeah. I mean, it's okay.
It sounds good though. Good sound design.
Yeah. There's some duels that don't look good to me. Like there's two that specifically come to mind. There's one in this one like between the Obi-Wan and Darth Vader that I don't think is very well choreographed because of how stiff they are. It makes it look like they're fighting in a bathroom or something, and they're like
Yeah,
trying not
well
to
it's
mess it.
in defense, I think, if we would have got um a lightsaber fight like we see now in this original movie, people would have been screaming out of the freaking theater. They wouldn't have been ready for something like that.
Oh, Asa says the list is out now. I know that, and we can't do Men in Black. It'll throw out the count. Just keep Jurassic
How
Park, and
many
that's all
how
we
many
need.
movies do you guys go for? Is it a
Well,
certain
we
number
did
of movies?
29 for the superhero, and we're doing 30 for the action one. Where I'm going to try and stay within the realm of 30. So we can put in Men in Black because that's a trilogy. Plus, you'd also probably want to include Men in Black International, maybe. And I don't really want to watch that one or any of the Men in Black films. They're not really my style. I'll probably watch the first one because Stallone's in it, but that's about it, maybe. At least for a while.
Princess Leia.
Yep.
It's hard to believe, man. Harrison Ford is so young in this. How old he is now.
Oh yeah, you can tell in Indiana Jones, like you can tell
Oh
that
yeah,
he's old.
geriatric Jones.
Yeah, I don't get what's the problem with Men in Black. Count off. Oh, we need 33. We won 30. Plus, I don't really want to go with Men in Black. It's not my style.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that either. Movie.
Victory.
This is where the
What
movie
would you
kind
say?
of went dark when we see the uncle and aunt all burned up at their corpses.
Oh yeah,
Pretty dark. It's a pretty dark shot. The only thing is
yeah.
that Luke takes a moment and he's got all this anger, but it's like he drops it. Like they
Yeah,
don't continue with his emotional um that emotion of his character doesn't continue. It's like it's this
like if
drop
they
and
had
he's
like
just
done
like,
like
"Oh, nothing happened."
it's like if you like did like the during the scene in Return of the Jedi, if they had like this thing where like when he's about to, and do you see? Remember when he like just throws it and the lightsaber down and chops off Vader's arm?
Yeah.
If if they had done like a flashback that shows the bodies of them again and then done it, that would have actually been like a very heartfelt scene. It would make it much
Yeah.
work, and that's why his anger takes control of him. Hasta says, Ledger, I'm gonna watch Alien 3 and Alien versus Predator Requiem. You gotta make some sacrifices too. Apparently, I have
I'm,
to
I,
put some.
yeah.
Fine.
I'm gonna try and review the Alien movies before Romulus because I've already done the first two. So I'm gonna try and do the rest before
Now then,
August. Hopefully, if I can get extra time.
all you need to do is give Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and AVP Requiem the 0 out of 10s they deserve.
Yeah, because I've done the first two Predator movies now and Predators, and I've done Alien. So I'm working away slowly at that franchise too.
Yeah. I didn't really get into Predator 2. It was very generic.
Loved it. I love it compared to the rest of the franchise offers. I like it.
It feels like Lethal Weapon 2.5 to me. Have you seen any of the Lethal Weapon movies?
I've seen them all.
Which one's your
I
favorite?
find your lack of faith. Number one.
Yeah.
I really
Oh
find it
wait. Oh
strange when I see rankings of Lethal Weapon 2 over Lethal Weapon 1, sometimes I'm like, "Really?" Although Lethal Weapon 2 is really
I think it
good.
may need to go. Yeah, I actually enjoy the second one more. It's just more rewatchable to me, and also I think the chemistry is better with Riggs and Murdoch.
I'll agree with you there. I think the chemistry's dialed in a lot better, but the first one's darker. It's just got
Yeah,
I just love the emotion of the characters and the action scenes
that's
just
one of
really
the reasons
work.
why. That's why
It's
one of the
funny.
reasons why I prefer the second because it's just so dark with like Riggs wanting to commit suicide and all that stuff.
Yeah, the second one just doesn't have the villains for me. Didn't really care for them.
The
Like they're okay. Like
4 has probably my favorite villain
4
with
I think is
Jet
the
Li.
worst one. I I ranked them
That's
in
my dad's
order.
favorite.
Yeah, I like them in order. Like
My dad's favorite is the fourth one because he said that he liked that it actually is one of the few franchises where it knew when to go and actually closes it out with like that final scene where do you remember the final scene in the fourth one?
yeah, it's
I
pretty
think
good.
that's a
Yeah.
really good scene and very heartfelt. Plus also what's his face? Harry from Home Alone. I'm trying to remember his name.
Oh, Joe
He's in
Pesci.
good. Yeah, Joe Pesci, I think he gets a bit irritating in the third one. Which is kind of the point of him, but
Like right here, this would have stayed with him forever. He
yeah.
wouldn't have let this go. And even at Empire, it's not really mentioned a
They
lot in
shrug it off.
Empire. Yeah. I think this should have been really Like those that his aunt and uncle raised him. Look at that, freaking skulls, and they're burned to a crisp. That's what I like about Rogue One so much. It's gritty and dark, and
Oh
shows how
yeah,
powerful the Empire was and how terrifying they really are. How much they
kind of a war film.
Yeah, it's a war film. Saving Private Ryan, I call it.
Oh, I wouldn't even call it a competition if we're comparing like Rogue One to Saving Private Ryan. I do
No, I
like
mean
Rogue One.
it's Saving Private Ryan in the Star Wars world. Like,
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan is freaking phenomenal.
such a good movie.
The plot is a bit stupid, but it's still a fantastic film.
Same with Carrie Fisher here. They blow her planet up, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're not upset. You're cracking jokes. I just think George Lucas should have addressed this stuff. Like,
Like, aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper?
right? My
Yeah.
everybody's dead, but
This does have a bit of a death count.
I guess in
And what is your
Empire, I guess in Empire when he meets Yoda, and when Yoda says there's too much anger in him because he has no patience, they should have had maybe he should have had a conversation with Yoda about watching his aunt, finding them burnt, and how do I let go of these feel like a conversation of some kind to show where
one
he's at
conversation would
emotionally.
fix this?
But it is what it is. It's still a good
Oh yeah.
franchise, still a good trilogy, right?
Oh yeah. My favorite movie trilogy of all time. Closely followed by things like Lord of the Rings and Indiana Jones.
The Eighth trilogy is mine. I love it.
Apes I'm gonna get onto soon.
Yeah, yeah. You'll be. I'd like to see you. You haven't seen it, like the new one?
I've only seen the first two Planet of the Apes films. I'm getting on to them soon because Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is my most anticipated film of the year.
Yeah. So you
Closely
you
followed by
haven't seen Rise or Dawn or War?
No, I have not. I've heard great things about all of them.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be changing your trilogy tune after you watch that.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm
Or
like, oh yeah, I'm ready for this.
yeah, because it's I think it's gonna have everything you like.
It is.
Great, man.
Oh, it
Actually,
is
this
like
this
dark
uh
and gritty.
this Thursday, me and Austin are doing Rise of the Apes versus Batman Begins.
Oh,
So that
are you
that
doing
gives
that as a
you
video?
an idea of what you're getting into, like the quality.
Oh,
So
interesting.
because they're both origin stories, right?
Yep. I'm sure he's gonna have a lot of fun with the Dark Knight versus Dawn, especially in his comments section. If anyone doesn't understand, that's a bit of a joke because Austin's not the biggest fan of the Dark Knight.
It's very good, but it's more of a Joker film to me. It's more of a crime
Yeah,
thriller.
I know.
It's
That's
not
what
the
they
best
got
Batman
wrong.
movie.
It's
Batman
that's what
hardly
they
even
got
does
wrong.
anything.
That's what they got wrong with the trilogy, except for Begins. Bane outshadows Batman in Rises, and Joker definitely outshines Batman in The Dark Knight. I've even met people that will
Well,
say like they love the film, but the only reason it's like one of their favorites of all time is because of Joker. And I'm always saying, well, there's other films where it's just a greatest of all time because it's that good, not because of one guy that can lift it up that much.
it's more grounded. It's not. It's a more grounded. Like Christopher Nolan didn't. No other
He
superheroes
brought him back
exist
to
in that world.
seriousness.
Yeah,
He brought him
like
back to
Superman
seriousness,
doesn't.
and more
Yeah,
importantly, he
like
cut off the nipples off the Batman suit, which I am eternally grateful for after Batman and Robin. That
I
was
still think it's
horrible.
one of the greatest trilogies. I don't find
Oh
the
yeah,
Dark Knight Rises. I feel it's too long, and
I
I
did
feel
too.
it's just not. I like Bane in it, but it's one
See,
I
I
would
thought
say
they.
it's I like it the least.
Oh yeah, I think that's easily the worst of the three, in my opinion. I think that they botched his death hard, Bane's death. I felt that he's such a fantastic villain, and then how do they give him a worthy death? They have him die accidentally by Catwoman, and then she gets to crack a very unfunny joke after that.
Yeah.
I was, and it's definitely too long. It should not have been. I think that the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises are a bit too long. Like maybe not 2.5 hours for the Dark Knight, maybe a bit shorter. Plus, Rises has an infuriating amount of plot holes that are very
Did you
apparent if
like
you actually watch it.
did you like Matt Reeves as the Batman?
I did. I
Yeah.
it's a bit overrated for me because I hear people like online saying best Batman film, easily like like one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. I again like Rises. I think it's a bit over. I not a lot of people are not the biggest fan of Rises. I mean, it's too long. I do feel like as soon as like they catch Riddler, it probably should have ended after that. But I don't think nearly 3 hours was earned.
Yeah, I love Matt Reeves because he did the 2 of the Apes
Yeah,
movies, and
he
you'll
did. He
see.
did the first.
I
He
think it's
did.
in good hands, but
Five.
I feel it's a little overrated too. I felt like it
Yeah,
was too long, and I felt like there could have been a lot more Batman action in it. Even though,
yeah,
but I get what they're going for, and I'm excited to see the world open up. What else they're gonna
yeah.
do?
There's actually a quote by someone that says like a lot of times sequels should be better than the original because the original just builds the foundation, so the sequels actually get to stretch their legs to do the stuff that they've been wanting. And it's always
That's
a running
true.
joke that the original is always the best. Like, I mean, you of course you take like Rocky, you take Rambo. Of course, for me, Star Wars. There's just so many ones where they could have had sequels that are better. Okay, maybe not Rocky. Rocky's a
Well, yeah,
masterpiece
it's funny when you think of the Apes trilogy. I call Dawn. Dawn is the empire of the Apes world.
because it's
It's
more dark,
Yeah, but
immature.
not that much more darker. It's just such a great sequel.
I hear War is very grim.
Very grim, but it's awesome, dude. Like I'm telling you, man. Unless it's just me, I love it. I just absolutely love those movies. I'm probably gonna
I don't think
watch
it's you.
Rise
I've heard a
today,
lot of
actually.
praise.
Should I have heard of the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah, and you didn't see Dial of Destiny in theaters, did you?
I have. It's terrible. Well, I won't say terrible, but I
So
didn't
you
like
did
the
see
way
it in
they
the
treated
theater?
Indiana Jones.
I did not like that. I thought that they were pretty disrespectful to his character, but
Yeah,
I saw it in the theater with us, my friend and his sister, and we're all diehard Indiana Jones fans. So I was a bit biased because I had a great experience with them, but I will still acknowledge like the CGI was a big problem for me. Like the CGI and green screen looked horrible, and some
I
of the
thought
de
the
aging.
I thought most of the aging was good. It's just some of it
It's just
was
the voice. The voice gives
yeah,
it away that it's de aging.
yeah, it's
He's
not we're not
groveling.
there yet. We're not there yet, but we're getting
Yeah,
closer and closer with the aging. But that wasn't the problem with the movie. The opening sequence was one of the best parts.
that's
It
probably
was
my favorite part of the entire film.
it's the way they treated Indiana Jones, and I
Make
feel like
like
it's the
a
worst
sad old
one. For
man.
me, it's the worst one so far.
I would say Kingdom is probably my least favorite, but that
Well,
probably because I saw Dial in theaters, maybe. But I will say, like, it felt like when you like hear him talking, his Harrison Ford is a bit growly when he's old, the way that he
yeah, he
talks,
sounded
and
old
when he's
still when he was
younger.
young.
Yeah, and the way that he walks, it kind of gives it away because he walks different when he's older. That also, like one scene where he's walking, you can tell. And
Yeah,
there's like one shot, like when he's like on a train, and it looks apparently really bad. I think I did see in the theater, but there's like one shot where he's like running on top of the train. And it's like a big overview, and it looked horrible,
yeah.
like almost like a rubber band.
It's one I would not. I don't feel like I would return to. It just,
Yeah,
in fact,
I mean,
after the Last Crusade,
I'll return to Raiders and Last Crusade all the time. Temple Kingdom, and Dial. I don't usually have a desire to rewatch. I mean, Kingdom and Dial kind of speak for themselves because I have a trilogy that's much better. Temple because it's a bit darker, a bit overrated, and has Willie in it. Therefore, it immediately is turned off by I cannot stand Willie. She's, I believe, in
God,
my
it's my
top three.
favorite. It's my favorite one. I love Temple of Doom.
You couldn't
Absolutely
have
love it.
docked. You couldn't have docked at least 1 point because of Willie.
I don't find
I
Willie
can't
that
stand it.
annoying. I think she doesn't. I don't think she goes too over the top. I think she's balanced well. For me, anyway.
Wow.
I mean, I've been watching it since I was a kid, though, so I never found her. I never found her annoying to the point. Like
The
I've seen
strangulation
annoying
like
characters
I
in
do.
movies before. I think she. I think there
She's
was
my
a. Yeah, she doesn't push it too much for me.
she
She's
does for
supposed
me,
to
I'll
be
tell
this
you that.
damsel in distress, right?
I mean, yeah, but there's other characters that can be damsels in distress that also are not as irritating.
Yeah, I just never found that. And I like the dark turn. I like the bad guy in it because Indiana Jones doesn't have great villains usually, but he was like a standout villain for me.
He is. I just never grew up. I mean, I didn't grow up with any of them, but Raiders and Last Crusade are just more in my alley. More rewatchable.
I love Short Round too. The
Oh, Short Round, I love him. I to this day think they should have brought him back in a cameo in Dial of Destiny.
cameo. It should have been about him. That's what they should have done. It should have been him dragging Indy on another adventure. Like,
Would have been better than the person that we did get that drug
God,
Madeline,
not,
wasn't it
not no
Madeline?
offense to the actress. It's the way they wrote her.
Yeah, I know.
It's
She is so infuriating with just like the way they're treating her. I mean,
right.
the way that she's treating Indy,
Yeah,
disrespectful.
spies everywhere. Oh, the added Jabba scene. This wasn't in the original.
Isn't?
This Jabba the Hutt. This this wasn't in
Oh,
the
that
original. Yeah, this is
interesting.
all CGI'd in after.
Oh, yeah, you can tell that that's CGI with Jabba.
Yeah, they George Lucas cut this. He had actually a man, an actor, doing this as Jabba, and he ended up cutting this scene. So when they did the re-release, he CGI'd Jabba the Hutt in.
You can definitely tell it's
On
CGI.
I like how Chewie's always on guard.
Yeah, I love Chewie.
Yeah, he's such a cool design.
Yeah, he does. Have you seen any of the Transformer films?
I've seen them all except the last one,
I mean, you mean the Last Night or Rise of the Beasts?
Rise of the Beast.
Oh, what do you think of them?
I think the first one is really good. Bumblebee's maybe my favorite, and because obviously that '80s charm just won me over. But
And it has the
and the
most
rest
heart
of
of the
them
bunch.
just fall. The rest of them just fall in line to. I can have a good time with them, but if I'm gonna watch a Transformers movie, it's gonna be Bumblebee in the original.
Wait, you enjoyed the fourth and fifth one?
Actually, yeah, for what it is, I didn't care. They're
I
okay.
hated the
They're
fourth and fifth one.
yeah, they're
It
good
might have
time
been
wasters.
they're like the sequel trilogy. They have fantastic marketing where every time, like if you watch the trailers, they are fantastic, and then you
You know what
watch
it's
the
like?
film, they're
You know
so
what it's
cool.
like? It's like watching Pirates of the Caribbean. The first one is so good, then the
Oh
rest
yeah,
of them just fall into generic, a
I mean,
generic
I enjoy the first
movie.
three. I love the first. I love the original trilogy. I despise the fourth film, and I can have fun with the fifth one, but I would definitely say four is the lowest of the bunch
That's,
easily.
they're just trying to redo the same formula over, and it's just not as good because how good the originals are.
It's like a lightning in a bottle situation with the first film.
Star Wars fight, blaster fight.
Oh yeah. Some of the most iconic sound effects of all time. Oh, completely forgot. I need to put the banners up.
And I love the Millennium Falcon. I love the look of it and everything.
Oh yeah, that's debatably the greatest ship of all time. Like just spaceship. That's a great one.
I like in Solo where he does the parsec run and he destroys the
Was
ship and he's telling yeah, the Lando is like, "No, I'm not talking to you ever again."
that
I liked it. I thought it was pretty funny.
Lando's pretty fun. He's probably the scene stealer in Solo. He was fun. I'm gonna probably try and see the Mandalorian film in theaters. They're making the Mandalorian into a movie.
Are they really?
Did you hear about that?
No. I'm not really up to date on the Star Wars lore and what they're
Yeah,
doing.
they're trying to make a new trilogy of films. They're making a Mandalorian one. They're making a Rey continuation, and they're making, I think, something that takes place like in the Old Republic.
The Old Republic I'd be interested in.
I would be too.
Um, and
They
I
never
get
died.
Ray, and I get this generation. Ray's probably pretty popular. I know my kids like her, so it's just they've already established certain lore with her, like how she's a Palpatine and all this.
And
So I don't know what you're gonna do with her.
I never really connected with Rey. I thought that her writing in her she's good in Force Awakens. Her writing in Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker was horrible.
Yeah, like she was. I thought this is what I thought they're gonna do with Ray. I thought she was able to tap into the dark side and the light side and become a whole new breed of Jedi. That's what I thought they were gonna do with her. But
Yeah, that would have been
they
so
went
much
more of a
better.
generic route with her.
Yeah, but now what nowadays isn't generic? Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's true.
Like especially superhero films last year, like Shazam 2 was so generic. Like it
The
was
first
just
one
so
was good. I liked the first one. I
Oh
haven't
yeah, the
seen
first
Shazam
one
2 yet, but
that one competes with Man of Steel for my favorite DCEU film. It's so fun and really funny.
really fun.
Zachary Levi's just so good as that like immature type person.
Yeah. Well, the DCEU is over now, so we're getting a whole new.
Rest in
Um,
peace.
yeah. It has some good. It has some bangers in there.
And
I'm
they
not gonna
got
lie.
some mob bangers. Like I
Yeah,
hated
like you hated what?
Justice League.
Oh yeah, that's bad. The Zack Snyder one's good though.
Oh yeah, I need to.
I
I've
like that one.
seen like the first half. It's so long, so it's hard
Mhm.
to like watch it in like one sitting. So I need to get on that one.
But I'm
Here
a
it
big
comes.
Superman fan. Superman's my favorite comic book character. So I'm interested to see how they're gonna go with the new ones now, like with James Gunn's Superman Legacy.
Interesting. I've never been the biggest Superman fan. Like Henry Cavill made me a Superman fan for like a little bit, but I think he's a bit of an overrated character. He's like he has a power for everything. It's like there's no actual work he has to do. Like he has freeze breath, he can fly, he has super strength, he can see like X-ray vision or something, he can do lasers
Well,
out of his eyes.
that's the thing about him. He's almost like a god.
Yeah,
So that's what you could do interesting stuff with that
yeah,
when
but
he becomes weak by some a green meteor.
I
so
yeah, I freaking love Man of Steel, and I'm not a big fan of the original Superman. I think that one's very dated and very, let's just say,
yeah,
drags.
you would think that
And
because
I
your
despise the
generation you're
plot
from.
line. There's a plot line involving Superman getting so angry about Lois Lane dying that he quite literally goes up into the sky and starts like just flying to the point to where he now has the superpower to reverse time. I despise that plot line.
But the
I
problem
think
with that is is that he goes back in time, but that would have changed everything he did,
Yeah,
like all the other people he saved. So it's a plot hole, but I still think the movie holds up in a lot of ways.
there's things, but there's a
Still
lot of
enjoy it.
things in which it does not.
And Superman 2 I like too. It's a lot of fun.
I've only seen the original. I bought that one a lot. Uh,
My kids, you know what? My kids, I tried getting them into it and they can't get in. They can't get into the old Superman movies. So it doesn't work probably for this generation.
hmm. Quick question: what's your least favorite film in the MCU?
The MCU, um,
I know you probably haven't
Iron
seen them
Man
all.
2 wasn't very good. I don't know if it's the worst though. Trying to think of one I just didn't like. You know what? I don't really watch Marvel movies that much. I like there's the ones I like, but Doctor Strange was pretty good. I didn't watch. Was it Miss?
The
What's
Marvels,
the character? What's the girl character? Brie
Ms.
Larson's
Marvel,
character. Yeah, I didn't watch her. I didn't watch that movie yet, so I can't really say anything about that one. But
and right on that subject, the Marvels
the
is
Marvels,
easily the worst.
I hear there's
Yeah,
a lot of bad ones, but
uh, like Thor: Love and Thunder was horrible. So was the second Thor. There was Eternals, which is probably my least favorite by a landslide. I despise Eternals.
oh, okay, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen a lot of them, so I think it should have ended after Endgame. We'll say Iron Man 2 for now, just for argument's sake. I don't remember it being very memorable.
It's not really memorable. It has some pretty bad villains.
She lied. Oh, you're in Astro field, buddy.
Yeah, just such an iconic film.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong. You like the third Expendables, right?
I liked it. I have problems with it, but I like it.
I
Entertaining
agree.
enough. I didn't like how they rerouted to all these new characters that were so bad and so uninteresting.
Oh, you didn't. You weren't a big fan of Hangman. I mean, not
No,
Hangman. The guy from Top Gun Maverick.
no.
I thought that he was fun.
I didn't like them at all. I was just like, this these guys are so generic. They're not but I guess that was the point of them too, because the Expendables saved them at the end. Mel Gibson really saves the movie.
Oh
He's
yeah,
one of
he's
the reasons.
fantastic.
He's
I
fantastic in it.
love
And
Mel
the
Gibson.
action's good. Um, it's a
The
masterpiece
action is
compared
still
to
practical.
Expendables
That's why I
4.
always tell people the action is still practical. Like there's a scene in the beginning, like where Stallone like presses a button and blows something up, and it's like they really
Yeah.
blew that up. It's practical, and the fourth one isn't, and that's all that
The fourth
matters.
the fourth one looked like it was filmed in a studio, the whole
I
movie.
don't. That's
It
because it
looked
was.
cheap. It looks so cheap.
Oh man.
And they forgot who their audience was.
Yeah, I know that's even what I've said. Like the lineup is horrific. Like Megan Fox, seriously,
Like, I
I'm
think
not a
she's
fan.
good into horror. That's where I would keep her. Unlike you have Megan Fox leading the Expendables. Oh my god. I mean you couldn't tie a character like Linda Hamilton or Kim Basinger or Tia Carrera or somebody into
Linda
Stallone's character who
Hamilton.
maybe they knew each other years ago. You know what I mean? And she wanted revenge for Barney, and I'm like, you couldn't you couldn't get like a female action star who was a bit seasoned. You know, like you gave us Megan Fox, who looks like she's
Oh,
never held a gun in her life.
probably because she haven't.
Yeah, no one clicked in that movie. Although I did like seeing the guy from the raid as the bad
The
guy and
Raid.
seeing him do his thing.
I've not seen the Raid,
Like
so I
there
wouldn't
was
know.
some there's very little okay about that movie though.
Statham and Stallone are the only good parts about that film.
Yeah, it's even the action was boring. Like it didn't do much for me.
Uh,
He already knows he's there. Oh, I agree, Asta. La Vista baby. So much worse
yes.
than 3. Like it's significantly bad, like compared to 3.
Oh man, if you ever watch my ranking of the action movie thing of like Expendables and blah blah blah, that is in serious competition for the worst. It's between that and A Good Day to Die Hard.
Oh,
The
yeah,
only reason,
that's bad too, man. Holy shit.
oh man, it was so awful, and Bruce Willis just doesn't care.
Yeah. Well,
Why?
don't get Jay Courtney to replace any legacy character.
Oh no.
We learned everything anything.
Genesis taught us that if A Good Day to Die Hard didn't cement that, then Genesis definitely did. I think
Dennis
Genesis is significantly better than Rise of the Machines, but it's still not good. Rise of the Machines is just
not,
one of the
it's
worst
not
films
good.
ever made, in my opinion. I don't think I can stomach that again.
Yeah, the only reason I even go back to it is to review it. Like I'll probably do a review. I reviewed that on my old channel, not this one. So that's the only reason I rewatch it. Or if I did a watch party series and or to just to show people how bad it is, I'll watch it, do a commentary on it. Pretty bad though, man. It's not good. I don't like when
I
they make spoofs out of everything. Like
I know that's what I dislike about it. I mean, there's times where like Austin Powers, which is it's made to be a spoof, but it at least knows what it is. Then you've got what is it? Then you've got what is it? Then uh you've got what is it? Oh, you've got Austin Powers that knows it's a spoof, and you have T3, which is basically a glorified spoof of the first two, but it's acting like it's The Godfather.
yeah,
But it's not. It's so much
I love Han
worse.
Solo so much.
Who doesn't? If it only says I am back, I have no idea. Don't know how you're back. You have a Shawshank watch along. Okay, what part are you at? The part where they're breaking into the Death Star. Timothy Wistier, I'll just say Timothy. What's up, guys? Doing good. How are you?
Hey Tim, what's going on, buddy? You must have caught my I shared the link on my community tab.
Oh,
He's one of
much
my
appreciated.
regulars, Tim.
Much appreciated. So he one of your regulars?
Yeah, he's we found each other through the Stallone community. He's a huge Stallone fan.
Oh yeah, respect, Tim. All you have to do is is to say that you are a fan
Ah,
of.
yeah.
All you have to just ugh. All you have to do is say that you're a fan of Stallone, and you're awesome because Stallone is what you call a mastermind at what he does. Okay,
Fucking
guys,
legend.
I'm putting a friend's YouTube channel that I'm trying to get growing in the comment section. I'm gonna pin that because I think you guys have had enough with Jason's link on Letterbox to where he can. I think he on those. I don't think he wants anything. I don't think he needs all of his rankings spoiled. So I think I'm doing him a bit of a favor. Okay. Okay. Okay, I posted it. Now let's pin this in a comment. There, it's now been pinned. Okay, so guys, check out this channel or else. Even though that is an empty threat because I will not threaten anyone, so just please do it. I can't threaten you guys because I'm not that type of person, but there. There we go. And she says that she will start posting soon. So you guys will be getting that on there. And she does like she's gonna be doing like anime like these like anime type strips. So she wants me to be voice acting in it. So that'll
Cool.
be interesting because I kind of despise anime. So having me be a voice actor for that is hilarious. Okay, film kid that really proves how us SS hooks Ledger with a whole bunch of people because I first met him through his Rambo ranking. Oh, Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, he did. I still remember what he commented. Just saw your channel.
Relax, Chewie.
What? Oh, okay, Timothy. I did Jason. That's how I found out, and I just subscribed to your channel, Ledger Forever. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Okay,
Chewie yelling
sorry,
at
I
me.
said that wrong. She is making a Christian comic. Uh, she's making. Sorry, she's just making a Christian comic, so she's not hiring voice actors. Sorry, she's not going to be doing what I just said for at least another year. But there we go. Film Kid says Jay really connected us. Yes, he did. He got us on. That is another one of the people doing the ranking with us. He's a buddy,
Oh yeah.
very likable guy. Very hard to get him angry. So such a great film.
Oh, there's a whole group of you now.
Yep, there is. Timothy, yeah, Jason Nike is a rock star. He's awesome. I will agree with that. Yes, he is. Look, he's probably the most humble out of all of us. He's referring to Jay, in which case he of the people in this ranking, he is probably easily the most humble.
You got so they all have YouTube channels.
Yes, they do. Hosta, who you saw in the chat, he has not been uploading recently, so he's kind of been asleep on that channel. So, but Jay's is about to start posting. He's gonna be doing things for our rankings, so he will be
Nice.
getting back into it soon. And of course, Film Kid and I are like just regulars. I've been slowing it down to go for more quality instead of quantity. You know how it is.
Yep. I do that. I don't like rushing through content,
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
but I do a lot of batch recording. So when I come down here, I record at least 3 videos.
Oh,
It's very rare I come down here to record just one.
interesting.
Yeah, so like the last recording session, I recorded 5 videos, and then I just pick away editing at them. It just works. It works for my schedule, and now I don't have to come down here every time I do a video.
Yeah.
Um, I'll likely come down here tonight and do a few.
Wow.
Yeah,
We have fun with that.
yeah, I got time tonight, so I'm just thinking about what to do. Um, I'm gonna probably watch Rise of the Apes in the afternoon. because that's
Oh,
I'm working on that series. So,
I need to get on.
but I like to put in other stuff that's not related to my theme of that month every now and then.
Yeah. I noticed that you had a Total Recall review. I need to watch that review, especially since
Yeah,
have seen
I
Total
did that a
Recall.
while ago,
That's a great
quite some
film.
time ago.
That's a weird
Yep.
film, but it's a great film.
Yeah.
Based on a short story by Philip K. Dick,
Yep.
who also did a short story on Blade Runner.
This is really good production design in Star Wars
Oh
too.
yeah, very.
No, Tim, no live tonight.
Hmm?
Just
Oh,
recording.
yeah. Yeah, maybe don't crack that joke.
Are you sure?
You're here with Ben Kenobi?
Again, you never know, Tim. Sometimes if I have the time, I'm like, I'll go down and do an impromptu Q&A. Why not? You never know with me. It's just it depends how
If
I
you're like
feel.
bored, you're like bored, just like out on him, just do it, and you eventually like people start flooding in because you have over 1,000 subscribers. Which, by the way, great job.
I got
You might
lucky.
have more.
I got one short, a Temple of Doom short that just went viral. So
Oh yeah, I was told about that.
it's luck. It's I got lucky, but I got all my regulars. I have enough regulars on the content that I'm happy. All the subscribers is really nice. Um, I just like to push my views up now.
Yeah, not me. I have a person called Godzilla. He's a regular usually on the live streams. Film Kid sometimes is, unless he's in this thing with me in the live streams, in which case he's not usually a regular. And Hosta sometimes. So after that, I have very few regulars. I just have random people coming in.
But I mean for like my reviews and stuff too. The people who comment,
Oh,
I have those people who kind of watch the stuff regularly.
hmm
We have fun on the lives, though. If people
hmm
aren't really that active in it, I'll just talk about whatever.
yeah,
But I usually like to have a topic just in case there's not a lot of people there.
yeah. Yeah. Just have some clashing like opinions. So you have not just one opinion. You have multiple. Yeah,
Yeah, the dialogue here is very stiff
yeah. It's
with
stiff.
these characters. That's in Empire. I think it's a lot better. Their chemistry's better and everything.
Yeah.
Be a film kid. Take care of yourself.
Boomkid says, "Well, got to get going." Okay, looks like he has a Shawshank watch along. Well, have fun with that. Either I'm gonna kill her or I'm beginning to like her. I love
Uh,
that line.
Yeah, I just finished my watch along series, so I'm taking a little break. Um,
What was that watch along
first,
series for?
it was called A Man in a Movie.
Oh
Oh, Back to the
yeah,
Future. Back to the Future was the last one.
Back to the Future. I continue to get hate for saying that. I think it's overrated.
Oh my god.
I have a lot
Godfather,
of
Back
feelings
to the
that
Future. I love
I
Back to the Future.
know.
I think it's a perfect film, man.
I don't like Biff, and I don't like Biff, so that keeps it from
Biff.
being perfect.
I love
He's
Biff.
so annoying. He's so irritating.
You find Biff irritating?
Yeah.
Man, I think he's just a great bully. He played the role really good.
I also get hate for saying I think Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is overrated. Doom Part 2. Oh man, that
Yeah,
just
well,
goes to show you how committed I am to this because I saw Doom Part 2 in the theater and I still think it's overrated.
I haven't seen any of them yet. Any Dunes yet. So
And speaking of which, I
but
have
yeah.
a friend that what made me watch this film. today. So, have you ever heard of this film called Seven Brides for Seven Brothers?
No.
Oh, it's a film from the 50s that she made me watch because she wanted me
Oh,
to.
my dad would
Oh,
watch movies from the 50s all the time when I was a kid. So,
well, Shawshank is goated. Yes, it is.
oh yeah,
Timothy. Uh, yeah, we're a bunch of
we are,
coconuts,
buddy.
aren't we? Who said it was overrated? Let us know. We'll take care of it. Again, Biff. I do think when people say like better than Terminator, I always struggle to see why because I think Terminator is significantly better.
Oh, I think Terminator is better than Back to the Future. I
I
just
think
think
that
Back to the Future is one of my favorites, but it's also I think it's the quintessential '80s movie. When I think of
I'll
'80s films, that's what I go to. That's what I think
a
of.
lot of
Like
people.
it's
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like
it's so
quintessential.
time.
It's like it's timeless, but I'll admit that. I'll admit that. But a
And
lot
Michael
of
J. Fox is just amazing actor. Like he's so good.
I think he's a bit annoying in the first one. I think that he gets a bit immature. Which again, he's a bit of a kid, so that's kind of the point, but
Well, he is a
still.
17-year-old, so he's supposed to be. He wasn't 17 at the time, but
Oh yeah. Sad what's been happening to him lately with like his disease.
yeah.
They've
Yeah,
been
I
talking about
love
doing the remake,
yeah. I wanna
remake
be
of
I
that.
wanted to be Marty McFly when I was a kid. I was just like I had the skateboard and everything, man. I was just like,
Easier to be than be someone like Arnold.
right?
Like in Commando, like where he's like lifting the tree, which is pretty funny. Where because were they having Arnold lift like an actual tree? Because I doubt he's awesome, but I don't think he could lift a tree on his own. There's certain things that
Well,
he can do, like
there's guys who balance it's more of a balance thing, the way he's
oh yeah,
balancing it. But it's out to lunch. That's what makes it so great though.
yeah, but I do rowing, so I have to like hold boats on. I like have to carry boats like on my shoulders, so that I can tell you does hurt.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's like a comic book character in that movie. The way he's throwing people around and everything.
Timothy says, hey, legend. I think he means ledger. How come you dark? You're just an icon. You're like the Wizard of Oz. Yeah. So I'm not allowed to show my face. So sorry about that. Wizard of Oz voice behind the curtain. Another one I think is slightly overrated. Like
Here, I can be an
that.
icon too. Let's see if this works. Um, there we
You just
go.
turn off your
See?
camera. Oh yeah.
That's my
That's my man.
icon, Tim.
Yeah. He's mine too. Don't worry. He's mine too.
Uh,
He's
anyway.
if you're a kid from the 80s, then Rambo's your icon. Oh man. Rambo's awesome. And he's one of the few characters where you have all sorts of things with him. You can get depth with him, or you can just get
So,
brainless dumb.
if you don't mind me asking, so at what age would you be able to show yourself?
I don't know, to be honest. Probably 18. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've
I'd
tried
say
that
something like
question. My
that.
parents always like trying to avoid that.
Yeah. Well, I had my son on my old channel, and I made him wear an Iron Man mask, and he just stood
Oh,
behind me. Yeah.
mhm.
Now
An Iron Man
I
mask.
don't, yeah, an Iron Man mask, so no one would see his face. Now I'm not, personally, um, if I have my kids on for a watch party, I'd let them just come on and just sit here with me.
Yeah,
It
that's
wouldn't
fair.
bother me. Um, but I completely understand your parents.
I mean,
Trust me, I
yeah.
am
I mean,
one,
it's
so
yeah. If there's ever a watch along that I invite you on for, if your kids like the movie, you can very well bring them on.
yeah.
I'm fine with that.
But if they were running their own channel, yeah, I'd be concerned.
Yeah, because there are
Because who
there are
knows,
people that you can do things
right?
that can make it to where you can track them. Of
Yeah,
course, I do know that you are from Canada because I've been informed by Nick, who knows that. Because
yeah.
I mean it. I mean I don't know, but I don't feel like I can hear an accent in you.
Oh, if I lay
I
it
don't know
on, you
why.
can. If I
Huh?
start going, "Yeah, how's it going, eh?" And you watching the game tonight?
Oh,
You
yeah.
top corner, eh? You know,
Oh,
it's
yeah, so
there.
you just are
We
really
say
good at
A.
taking
Yeah.
you're just really
So
good at taking off that accent?
I can only assume you're American.
I am American.
Yeah, you
I
don't
was
have to
born in
tell me where
Florida.
you're from. Oh, Florida?
I was born there. I mean,
Oh,
I don't live
nice.
there anymore, but
Oh,
that's where I was born.
nice. A lot of Canadians in Florida.
No, there are.
That's where they travel to.
Yeah. But it was fun doing the Predator watch along with Nick.
Oh, you guys did one?
Yes, we did.
Pretty cool. Cool. Yeah, he loves that movie.
Oh yeah. Who doesn't? That's my fourth favorite film of all time.
Yeah,
The most rewatchable.
Nick and I talk all the time. We're good friends. We
Just
met
like
through the YouTube when we both started YouTube together.
if you don't mind me asking, is it because they do you guys like have each other's phone numbers so you like just text each other?
No, I just contact them through DMs. I don't
Oh,
give my phone out
goodness.
to just be well, to Nick I would because we're Canadian. But I'm not
Yeah.
sure if I'd get charged with text messaging.
What do you mean?
My
What
buddy
do you mean
Tim,
by getting charged?
my buddy Tim in the chat, he lives not far, like a couple hours away from where I am. So
Yeah, but yeah, Canadians. A lot of people like to make jokes about how Canadians are like the nicest people ever. You can easily just disapprove that. I'll give you one word: Deadpool. He is not. He is not nice.
I
We'll
know I
give you
get
that.
I know we're considered the nice people. I find it kind of funny because there's I meet miserable people all the time in Canada. I didn't think we were as different as anybody else, but apparently we're really nice, like too nice.
Yeah. But have you seen Deadpool?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it.
You're not.
I'm not. No, I'm not a fan of Ryan Reynolds that much.
What?
I think anybody could play the character. Like I
I
think you
actually
could have
think
give
that he actually
anybody.
made. He
I
feels
like.
like he's so iconic, like that you can't replace him because that brand of humor almost doesn't work with anyone else.
Okay, there's a hot
Ryan
take for
Reynolds
me.
makes it.
There's a hot take for me now. I find Deadpool okay. It's it's
So you're one of
not.
the
I'm
people that
not.
prefers him Origins Wolverine, eh?
I'll watch that because of Wolverine, but I'm not a big, huge fan of Deadpool. It's not really my kind of humor. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Um,
yeah. There's some immature jokes that they have that I can see a lot
um,
of people not liking.
I don't know. It's you know, there's some comic book characters you're just not. You think it's okay. You know what I mean? I'm never been a big fan.
Yeah, I love that scene like in the beginning where like he just is where he just like stops that car in midair and is like, "Did I leave the stove on?"
Yeah,
That was hilarious.
I'm just not sure. With Hugh Jackman, he's a perfect Logan, but I think
Oh
you could have
yeah.
found. I think you could have found a lot of people to play Deadpool because it's the dialogue and everything. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I've never been a big Ryan Reynolds fan. I think he's a great human being.
Oh
Um,
yes, he's a
a cool
fantastic
dude and
person.
everything. But everything I see him in, he's just playing Deadpool and everything. Like I've never really, I've never really seen him in something where he's not
Where he's
playing
like
into that
serious.
character. Yeah. So, um,
I think there might be a horror film that he was in where I think he was serious, although I
oh, the
can't really think of it.
Amityville Horror, maybe. Yeah, maybe that was it.
Yeah.
Hey, that's me though. You know, I like my old school comic book people.
Yeah, like Hugh Jackman is fantastic as Wolverine.
He's just a great actor though, like all around. Like
Have you
I
seen The
like him and
Prestige?
everything. Oh, I love it. It's my favorite Christopher Nolan film.
That's mine too.
Love it. Love it. I think it's so underrated. People don't like it's
I do
so
too.
good.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
So good. It's in my top 100 anyway.
Oh yeah,
Waiting
I'm
for
gonna
you,
do a top.
Obi-Wan. Here's our slow fight. like you say, they're
It's a
fighting
bit
in a bathroom.
yeah, because like the way that they're just so stiff. And there's another one in Force Awakens where I think it's too much of the opposite. Where do you remember like the forest fight that they have, where like they're like just swinging them so hard, like almost like they're bats?
Yeah, I really like that fight. I think it's I
I
like
felt, I
the
mean, I like the idea of it. It felt like it was very sloppily choreographed.
I like the emotion of Ray in that, where she closes her eyes and you hear the
Yeah,
music
that I
kick
like.
in. I really,
Yeah.
really like, and you the forest at night and the snow with the lights. That was just a great
Oh yeah.
decision, aesthetically speaking.
I was rewatching Force Awakens. I need to finish it, but it's fantastic. Timothy, yeah, Ledger, you should wear a different mask each week. Vader, Iron Man, Spider Man. Oh man, Timothy, yeah, A. We Canadians don't have an accent, A.
But
Yeah,
we don't,
obviously,
eh?
Timothy. Yeah, those Americans are a shitty bunch, A. Some of us can be. I'll say one thing: there's some Americans that can be jerks. I have met quite a few. I mean, that's the. I mean, when you're in high school, you meet a lot of trying to use the correct word. Horrible people, jerks.
Oh,
I
I
actually
know
got
I did. I
into
had my fair share.
I actually got into one recently, into nearly a fight. It was interesting. Never that was probably the first time I've ever nearly gotten into a fight before. And luckily I was a more mature person, so and there was a grown up near. All I know is that kid uh it was interesting. We'll just say that. The kid also tried to make up a lie to try and get himself out of trouble because he was the coach. It was the coach that was with us. So the kid then
Okay.
made up a lie to try and fix it. So he told the coach I said something horrible that I never did because he just didn't. He had to find some way to get out of a little bit of trouble with his parents. So he made up one of the dumbest lies ever. And my dad, when the coach said it, told me about this, my dad even was like, That's not my character. There's no way." Benefits of being a good
Yeah,
person,
my
you
kids.
you immediately do
My
that.
kids haven't had too many. My oldest son in high school, I was worried about him on his first day, but um, he sticks to himself. He's also like autistic, so he's on the spectrum. So
Yeah.
he's not really socially. He doesn't pick up on social cues like someone would with a
I have that
conversation.
problem too, kind of.
Yeah, so
There's certain times.
and all my kids have ADD. They've all my
Attention
middle
disorder,
son.
attention
Yeah, my
deficit
middle
disorder.
son's got general anxiety, so he's kind of a worry. But he's got a really big heart, but he can really lose his temper quickly. So we've been
Oh,
working on that with him because that's going to get you in trouble. I told you.
oh, yeah. You want to be very careful on who you get rage at as an adult.
Yeah, exactly.
Timothy.
But
There's gonna be a dust on this live, a rumble. Disagree about Deadpool. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not. It's not the biggest fan of it. Like to the fact I
Well,
haven't
you
even
really like
rewatched it. I didn't even bother with Deadpool 2. I'm just not big on the character.
maybe if you give it a rewatch with an open mind, give it a
Maybe,
second
yeah.
chance, maybe.
I'll likely do a
It's
comic book series eventually. Like I'll probably get into that eventually. You know what I mean?
ooh,
But it's really I find that's people don't watch me for that. I'm not really
hmm,
your comic book guy. I like
yeah,
DC. I like
that was
DC.
like
Like I
Nick
would
for
do
me.
that. So
That's like Nick for me because he always does these like either horror action rankings. So when he did MCU, I was like, this doesn't really feel like Nick for some reason. It just doesn't feel like him for. I mean, I still like the video that he did, but it's like I never think of Nick as an MCU guy. I think of him as the guy that loves the Terminator so much. I think of him as the guy that likes Butterfly Effect, Shaun of the Dead, like all these action
yeah,
franchises, horror
yeah.
franchises.
Like me, I've established a certain expectation. So
Yeah, and
I'm
I'm
not
just
just
gonna
gonna
try to
go
get
off and
ranking
do MCU like everyone else does because that's not
because
my
everyone does that
it.
cliche.
It's not my thing, right? It's not really my thing. But I'll dab in it every now and again.
Yeah, dip your toes in.
Um, like my old channel was more horror actually.
It was.
I'm a huge horror fan.
So am I.
So I like to do it every now and then, but I didn't want the channel to be just horror. I wanted to really find the action people. really like.
Yeah.
Well, there's got to be people who like Bloodsport and all these other action movies, right?
Who does? I mean, there. Timothy. Deadpool 2 was awesome when they ripped him in half and he had baby legs sitting naked on the couch was hilarious. Yes, there's a scene where he gets ripped in half and since he has a healing factor, he has to regrow his legs. So there's a scene where he has baby legs, but he's still Deadpool.
Yeah,
It is hilarious,
nice. Like
especially the reaction from
we
people.
were watching, the wife and I were watching uh the we've been doing sitcoms lately, 80s sitcoms. So we watched Cheers last night. We've been going through the show Cheers, and I noticed that on Prime that I could watch The Beekeeper now with Jason Statham.
What? So that I
Well,
could have.
yeah,
If we just wait a little longer, my dad wouldn't have had to buy it. That backfired
I
on me.
think
That's
so. I think so. I think it's available now if you have Prime Video. So
oh
when my wife really likes his movies, so we're gonna wait. She's gone tonight, so tomorrow we'll likely watch that, and hopefully, how I feel about it, I'll probably review it.
oh yeah, it's dumb as heck, but it's
But I bet
fun.
I bet he's awesome in it though.
Oh, he
I hear
is.
it's really good. I hear it's like really good. So
The acting aside from him is pretty bad by most people. Like even Jeremy Irons doesn't seem to care in that film, but
yeah,
he is fun. Like Statham, all he knows how to deliver. Like even in Expendables 4, as bad as that film is, he's at least trying. And even then, I mean, not trying, but he's at least the best part, even though he doesn't seem to care too much.
he carried the movie at least. He's good
Yeah,
enough to
him
carry.
and
He's good enough to carry the franchise. Like I had no problem with Stallone being out of it, but what? But tell
but
me
the fact that they
what you?
marketed it. I
Yeah,
didn't like
how
that
did
they
they?
marketed it as him being
Yeah, I
like a
knew
main
he
thing.
wasn't going to be in it.
Yeah,
And
you
while
could
I'm
tell by the
watching it,
trailer.
um, and
Yeah.
while
Oh,
I'm watching
shocker!
it,
It's on the phone.
I'm like, while I'm watching Expendables 4, I'm kind of like, okay, this is not making sense. Spoiler alert right now if you haven't seen Expendables 4, because I'm gonna tell you something about it. I'm
Don't
like,
click off
still,
the video as we're doing you a favor.
sorry.
I was telling them don't click off. I even though you're spoiling, I was saying don't click off. We're doing them a favor by not by
Yeah, I
making
was
by
like,
them.
Stallone. Yeah, Stallone doesn't kill off any main character of his franchise he's in, ever. So I was telling my wife this. It feels like they didn't give a shit that Barney was killed. Like no one was like Jason Statham should have been beside himself. That character, right? So
I
I'm like,
know.
he's got it. Yeah, and at the end, I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. Sly.
I could
So
tell.
at least Sly can redeem this franchise. Maybe he is
Maybe.
getting old. Maybe I have an idea for Expendables that I don't know why they haven't done. Um, my thought is you bring back Mickey Rourke, Tool from the first one, where he's running
The
the shop. Yeah,
oh yeah, him. Oh yeah,
yeah, he's running the shop, and you bring the Expendables war home, where maybe they get involved in a biker gang, like it becomes more like a street fight, a street war with the Expendables and this biker gang, and Tool gets killed. Maybe Tool had a daughter, and you get a young female of some kind, and it becomes more of the Expendables tearing shit
that's a
up,
revenge.
like in New
Revenge story.
Orleans, um, kind of like a real gritty revenge instead of just them going off into the world somewhere and blowing crap up. Maybe make it more personable. Um, Something like that. I was, and bring people back. Like get the Rock, get people who
Yeah,
want.
I know. That's what I said. Get The Rock. There's so many other action stars you could get. You could get The Rock. You could get Vin Diesel. Okay, no, we're just going a
Uh,
bit too fast and furious in this direction with Statham and Rock and Vin Diesel.
if
But
you're gonna go after some younger guys, at least get people who are in.
it's better than someone like Megan Fox or 50
Yeah,
Cent. 50 Cent
or
was
50
awful.
Cent, I was just like, "What is this, man?" There's better people in the genre right now.
It was by far the worst lineup they've ever had. action stars.
Yeah, it
But
wasn't
they
a very
kind of
good one.
lost the side of seriousness after the first film, so getting back to that could be good. I think that the second film treats it a bit less serious, which is kind of something that I think was better because the fact that you have so many action stars doing this and on a team together, I feel like you shouldn't be that serious with it. You should be having a bit of fun with it. But I thoroughly enjoy the first one. Just rewatched it, and
The first
I
one's my
am very
favorite,
excited.
actually.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the second one's a little better, but they're both very good.
The problem is there is no action stars now, like at that level. So
No, I also despise that Arnold wasn't in the fourth one, and he was so fun in the third one. I forgot that rewatching. Like he is just so fun.
yeah,
Like I love that line that he has in the third one where he's like, uh, if you guys didn't want to, I'm trying to, if you guys wanted to fight, why didn't they just get married? I
yeah,
loved that line. That's a great line
that
from
was
him.
funny. Arnold was
Yeah,
great in that.
Timothy. Well, looks like Jason's going live tonight. Woo!
Yeah, I don't really do live reviews though, so sometimes
Hmm,
I did the
interesting.
Godzilla series like that. Me and Caleb did them live.
I need to get. I've only seen the original one from 2014. I need to see the rest, and I've seen part of Kong Skull Island. Skull Island is probably gonna be my favorite. I'm more of a Kong guy than I am Godzilla.
Me too. I'm a Kong guy, but
Kong,
I loved going through the Godzilla films. There's a lot of good stuff there. I like the MonsterVerse. I think it's good popcorn fun.
yeah, they're dumb, but they're fun.
They're supposed to be though. That's the idea.
Yeah, there's. Oh man, it's fun that you can get serious Godzilla with like Godzilla -1, but you can also get I'm dumb, just popcorn Godzilla with like them just punching each other in the face.
Yeah, well,
Also, by
sometimes
the
that's all
way,
I want to see.
I know there's a plot point in Godzilla versus Kong where Kong he dislocates his arm, right?
Yeah, he
Did
does a
you
lethal
catch on to
weapon.
the fact that when he like relocates it, that's like such a parody of Lethal Weapon 2?
It was funny, man.
Yeah, the fact that he's able to relocate his arm and like apparently he has seen Lethal Weapon 2 and loves Mel Gibson. Oh man, that's so funny. Yeah, this is definitely a masterpiece of a film.
Like he's already forgotten about his aunt and uncle. It's kind of funny. It's almost
Yeah.
laughable, actually. They didn't mean much
Dude.
to you, I guess.
Huh? Yeah,
This is a
yeah,
good
it's
space
not like
battle,
it
though.
didn't. Hmm?
This is a good space battle coming up, though.
Oh yeah. It's
Pretty
not like
iconic.
it did much. All they did was raise him, feed him, clothe him, take care of
Yeah,
him, lie to his face. Yeah, it's not like they did anything for him.
yeah. He's just too happy-go-lucky right now. Like,
Yeah.
I get it though that it fits the tone of the film, but it almost doesn't make sense. Like from a characterization point of view.
They definitely shrug off some of the stuff.
Like I won't give away my tire ranking, but this one's always been the middle for me, the middle of the
Middle.
franchise. Yeah, I just like other ones more. That's all.
Hmm,
I like
interesting.
Revenge of the Sith more than this.
If the dialogue wasn't as bad in like the first half of Revenge of the Sith, it would be closer, but
And
there's still some
I got problems with Revenge of the Sith, but I think it's just more entertaining for me.
I'm gonna be doing. I'm seeing Revenge of the Sith soon. I'm doing a what you're doing with apes. I'm doing May the Fourth be with you. Force like May
Oh,
the
okay.
Fourth. So I'm gonna be like doing all the Star Wars films, just trying to watch them. So and
And
also
I'll be doing um a Predator watch along series this summer. So
I know I heard
doing
about that.
yeah, doing every movie. Even the bad one.
Yeah, you have to deal with Requiem. I'm joking. I
No,
mean I know that you like
the
the
Predator.
Predator.
God,
That
that
one's
movie
bad
gets
too.
worse. It gets so bad every time I watch it. It gets worse.
I can have
I
fun with
agree.
the first 45 minutes, which is why it's not a total dumpster fire. As soon as you get to the school, it goes off the rails, but everything before that I think is decent. But as soon as you get to the school and you get the CGI Predator, it kind of nosedives.
I just don't like the characters. I think they're awful
I think the
for
characters
the most
are
part.
not they're they're weird, and the Shane Black dialogue isn't even very good.
No, it had a lot of studio meddling though. Studio was getting
Yeah, but
involved, and I don't
yeah.
know. It just feels like a freaking Avenger. It feels like a comic, a generic like the. I hate the Predator ship the way it looks. It looks like something Captain America would freaking fly, or
Oh
maybe
man,
or the Avengers. You know what I mean? It just didn't look very Predator like anything about it. The
yeah.
continuity goes out the window. Like you look at the ship at the end of Predator 2,
Oh
looked
yeah.
awesome. It looked awesome, and the continuity is goes out the window.
I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but I would probably even though I prefer Predator 2 to The Predator, I would probably rewatch The Predator before Predator 2
Really, I
because
love
Predator 2
Predator.
I think is very boring. Meanwhile, The
It's one of my
Predator is
favorite
not a good
90.
film.
It's one of my
The
favorite
Predator is a
90s
very
action
bad
films.
film. Yeah, but The Predator is a very bad film, but
Yeah.
it can be entertaining at times. It has elements to it that for me are so bad they're good. But who are you doing the watch along series with?
Caleb from Dark Ether Files podcast.
Hmm,
He's a big Predator fan. We both are.
who isn't? Timothy, Empire Strikes Back is the absolute best of all of
Yeah, I
them.
mean,
I
I
would say
agree.
that it's not my favorite. It could be when I get on to Empire, but it's not my favorite personally. But it is objectively the best.
Well, I know people who like Return of the Jedi the most.
I know. I actually know a few people that actually do as well. But I'm doing a Austin uh invited me on for a watch along for Revenge of the Sith. So that's why I am
Oh,
going to be watching
yeah,
it.
he's I think I am doing Empire with him.
Lucky. Knew I should
Or
have talked to him
I
before he
think
got that original
I
trilogy
think
got.
so. I think so. I can't remember now.
But I think he got the original trilogy completely filled out.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I mean, I love
No,
Revenge of
wait.
the Sith.
I think he's got. No, I think I'm Rogue One actually. I think I'm doing Rogue
Well,
One with
I
him.
think he invited Film Kid along for Rogue One.
Oh, did he? I'm getting
Yeah,
confused then. I can't remember. It'd either be
maybe
Rogue One.
after he pushed them back. He pushed them
Yeah,
back to promote them.
yeah.
Even though I could
No,
easily just copy the link in
now
my
that
channel.
there's a guy who knows Star Wars. That
Uh,
is,
oh yeah,
he's he knows his Star Wars, man. He's like me with Rocky. Like Rocky, I know my Rocky, but he knows his Star Wars.
yeah. Rocky at this point in time in the film looks at this guy for this amount of seconds, like knowing that amount of stuff like that. But I love Rocky. That's a great franchise. I mean, of
I
course, people like to say that five is objectively a terrible film. It's not
I like
great,
it.
but I can have fun with it
It's
as
still
because
great.
that's
It's still a
long.
good movie though for me. I
I
still
mean, you did,
consider
yeah.
it a good
I
movie.
mean, you did see in the theater, so you do have nostalgia, right?
Yeah, I saw it in the theater.
I mean, but I do think Creed is a great one because I love the performance by Stallone, and when Stallone goes dramatic, if he can save a film, like the Oscars snubbed him that year.
I think so too. Yeah,
I
that was a
really,
good performance in Creed.
oh, man,
I
I don't
just
even know
wish
if he got nominated for an Oscar. Did he?
it's the only Rocky 5 was the first Rocky movie I saw in the theater. I never
Oh,
saw Rocky 4 in the theater or Rocky 3.
you didn't. Well, you would have been old enough probably for Rocky 3 because that would have been the same year Return of the Jedi came out, right?
Yeah, but I was only 3. I didn't my dad wasn't I was the Rocky fan, not so much my father. So they
Was he more the
never
Rambo?
yeah, but I saw oh, let me think now. Ever
Creed and
since Over the Top, I've been watching every Stallone film in the theater ever since.
You saw
except for
over the top of the theater?
Yep, except for
Dang it!
Rambo. Yeah,
I loved
except for
over
Rambo 3. Rambo 3, I think was I couldn't get into that one.
I watched Over the Top for the first time expecting nothing from it. That is debatably
So
the
good,
biggest
that movie.
that
Love it.
was debatably the biggest shock I've ever had. I freaking love that film. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
And you watch it with your dad. It's a good father-son movie.
That's
That's
like that yeah, that's a Father's Day movie along with like Indiana Jones Last Crusade, maybe
yeah,
Gladiator and Braveheart.
yeah,
Those are like the
definitely.
ultimate dad movies.
Father, yeah, I made my son watch, my son, my youngest son, who's 9, he always does the handshake from Predator with me. He always comes up to
Oh,
me. He does this because he loves Predator, the first one, and
hell
we
yeah.
watch that together. But they like a lot of YouTube, my kids. They watch a lot of YouTube and a lot of anime and stuff like that.
Oh,
I
anime,
know I hate anime.
really?
I'm like, guys, I don't like this stuff.
No, can we just stay away from this stuff? Timothy Rocky 4 in the theater was unreal. So you
I
saw it in the
bet.
theater?
I bet it was. Film Kid really likes that one.
He actually went down on it. He I think that's now is like number 3. He prefers Creed
Really?
and Rocky, I think. He thinks
Well,
that I think right now he says that Creed is debatably better than Rocky. I'm telling him just rewatch it, and every time he says like, "No, I'm not going to change my opinion." I always bring up one thing, and that's he used to not be a big fan of John Wick Chapter 2 at all, and said that that was his least favorite in the franchise by far.
really? It's
He
one of my
rewatches
favorites.
it, and it was like a 3.5 out of 5. He rewatches it, and I think he gave it a 5 out of 5, and was like, "This is now my second favorite one in the franchise," and it to this day annoys him it annoys the heck out of him every time. He's like, "No, I'm not going to change my opinion." I'm like, "John Wick Chapter 2, you changed your opinion on, and I told you that it was going to happen."
Yeah,
And he's
because
like, "Shut up."
when he did his top 50, when I had you guys on for the top 50 Rocky moments,
Oh yeah,
he was raving about Rocky 4,
oh
like
yeah.
a lot of the moments in Rocky 4 and stuff like that. So
I need to do that
yeah,
top 10 Rambo moments. I think I know what my number one's going to be.
yeah. Well, I've only got 2 entries so far. I don't even know when I'm getting to that. So you got lots of time. I was gonna
Yeah, but
start working on it in May, but I think it's being pushed back a little. So I'm not really pressing anybody right now for it.
wait. So you saw the Expendables in the theater? I just thought of something. You saw the Expendables in the theater?
One, two, three, just not 4. I didn't
Oh,
bother
maybe
going
you
for
were smart.
4.
You were smart. You dropped off that wagon when you should have.
Well, when I got hardcore Stallone fans telling me to stay away from this freaking movie,
Oh,
I trust it. I
oh,
trust it.
trust me, you should have. I'm like, if anyone in this entire universe can compete with you for like a Stallone fan, it is me.
Yeah,
And I can tell you, I despise that film.
yeah. I wouldn't watch it again, most likely. Like
I want to say that too, but I have to do like rewatches for like
I
the
think I
franchise.
gave it a 2.5 on my letterbox, and that's generous.
I no, I think you gave it a 2. I think
I
I
think I
saw
gave
that.
it a 2, yeah, I think I did actually. You're right.
I
Yeah,
thought it was
that might be
horrible.
generous, like,
That is generous, especially with the
and that's that
CGI.
Jason Statham made that 2 stars. That's the only reason.
The CGI was a problem. Like that is it looks so unrendered
I
and
didn't
just
like the way they treated some of the Expendables either, now that I'm
they
kinda thinking
disrespected
about it.
them.
Like, the way they make fun of Dolph Lundgren being
Yeah,
blind and
it,
everything. It's
ugh.
like, why are you doing this? Why are you treating these I mean, in Expendables 1, they were tough and everything, and they didn't make fun of them aging in that way. And now you're just
They
making a
didn't.
spoof out of them.
I mean, yeah, not really. They make some jokes that kind of make us as the audience kind of feel old in some ways.
Yeah,
But I mean, of course, everyone knows that the first two in particular are just they are so awesome and macho and manly.
yeah.
But and the
I'm
second
definitely
one is
gonna
like
be
a kid
seeing
action.
I'm definitely seeing Kingdom in the theater. I'm gonna go see Alien
I'm gonna see
Romulus
that
in the
one.
theater.
I'd
So,
love to join you for that, but sadly, I don't live in Canada. But man, I cannot
for what?
wait.
Alien Romulus?
I mean, I would say both. I am so pumped for both of those. Those are some great films. I'm hoping they're great
I
because
don't know
Alien
what else
Romulus
is
looks like
coming out. I don't know what the
Romulus.
summer's looking like. So
What is
The
Romulus?
summer. I don't know what the summer theater lineup is this year, so
No, I think it was said it was coming out into September. I'm gonna look that up. I need to know.
I think it's August. Alien Romulus.
Because
That
it's
one's
rated
August.
R, and my dad does not really like the theater at all because he just says that just wait till it hits streaming. And my mom is not a big fan of horror because she just can't handle that. So it's like you can tell that that's going back to the first two with horror centric. You
Oh
can tell
god,
by the trailer.
we
So
the
it's
wife,
like
my
John
wife and I
Rambo.
love the theater. We just went for the first time in years to see Godzilla X Kong, and we had a
Oh,
blast because my oldest is 15, so he's he's very capable of looking after his brothers while we go out.
huh?
So um and we go out late at night, so it's basically bedtime. And so my oldest just stays up and we phone him on his phone and stuff like that. Said everything okay. So we
Yeah,
went out by ourselves in years. It's been years. So
interesting.
yeah, and they didn't want to come with me. I offered to take them to see Godzilla X Kong. I offered to take them to see Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. They're like, no, we can wait. So it
Are you
streamed.
kidding
I
me?
go, it's the theater.
You
They're
why?
just not into movies like I am. They're not really. They're into
Lucky.
they like their video games though. They're
Yeah. Okay.
okay, except I think they'd go see Mario. You know,
Oh, I did not like Mario.
yeah, they
I thought that
loved
was
it. They love that stuff. They love Sonic. They want to go see the third Sonic movie
wait, when it Ginger
when it comes out, whenever it comes out.
Okay, so Romulus is coming out in August and Sonic 3 is coming out in December.
Oh, okay, Christmas movie.
Oh yeah,
Boom! Luke saves the day.
of course. Three, two, one, and my count was off, but still. And remember how we were talking about Expendables a second ago?
Yeah.
I looked in one of my comments was like, what is the best Expendables film? And then I just coincidentally while we were talking, a comment appeared saying second one hard, fourth one shouldn't have existed at all. Oh man. Apparently somebody was watching this and wanted to be seen. Oh man, that's hilarious. Whew.
I haven't reviewed any of the Expendables yet, so I didn't want to review the fourth one, and I thought I'd start from the beginning. So I will rip that one a new a hole though.
Oh, cannot wait.
And I don't do that very often. I'm very positive, but that one
That
that was
deserved it.
deplorable. That movie, like, and
Yeah,
it's
people
not a
are
hard movie to make. You know, get some
no,
action stars together. We want to see them fight and blow stuff up. It wasn't a hard formula to follow. Like,
no, it wasn't. That's the problem. That they managed to screw it up so badly.
and I don't think we'll see another one. That's what's unfortunate.
Because it,
Like,
I think it's the lowest grossing of the bunch, and it did not get good reviews at all.
no, so I don't think you'll see. Like, I mean, what more can Stallone do with it? I don't think he was that interested in it either anymore.
Yeah, I
So
mean, if I have to have Stallone either going back and trying to redeem Expendables or make another Rambo film, I'm taking Rambo every day.
yeah, me too.
Because especially after they put Rambo in limbo,
Yeah.
which I love Last Blood. I gave that a 4.5 out of 5. I will tell you, I will be the first one to tell you, I do think the ending is not good that they had to put him in limbo.
Yeah, it just doesn't. I think John Rambo had such a great ending. They just
Yeah, and
opened
it
a
feels
can of
like this
worms.
one's such a sour
I wouldn't have mind that. I
epilogue.
wouldn't have minded so much if they would have made one right after it and said, "Okay, we got to close this out now, Stallone." But now they've left it. And now he's getting older and older and older, and it's just like
What are they
I
gonna
would like
do?
to see. I'd like to see a prequel one where Rambo's in Vietnam and he has that
Yeah, I
team.
would
He
love
has
that.
Baker team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be. I think that would be a good. If you could find a younger Stallone like person.
hmm But so I was talking to my mom and saying that if I'm gonna try and talk to people at the theater and see that since Romulus is gonna be rated R, if I just bring her in and say, okay, yeah, if says yes, he can see in the theater. If I can just see it on my own because she's not a horror fan at all. She won't go for it.
My mom was a horror fan. That's why I even watch horror. My dad doesn't like it.
He doesn't?
No, my dad
Horror is
likes
awesome.
westerns. My dad likes
Oh,
western and sci-fi, and my mom was mafia movies and horror.
mafia movies.
Yeah, my mom loved Al Pacino.
Oh, yeah, Al Pacino is good. I have you seen he was the Nolan film with him Insomnia.
Yeah, I've
Have you
seen
seen
that.
that
It's a
one?
good one. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, that's probably that competes with The Prestige for Nolan's most underrated film
Yeah,
because I mean I think that's a really good one. It has one of at least probably my favorite Al Pacino performance. Yes, I think it's a better performance than The Godfather. Come at me, any of you, I dare you. Which I'm probably about to get a lot of hate for. Timothy, I told Jason this before. I was 15 when Rambo 3 was in the theater in 1988. We had to sneak in because it was rated R. Now that was awesome in the theater. He saw
that's the
Rambo 3 in the
'80s.
theater.
That's the '80s. You snuck into movies.
Now that is what you call awesome. Yeah, but I'm gonna be seeing. So the ranking that we're gonna be doing is about the new one is gonna involve Alien Romulus. We're doing Predator, Alien, the
Yeah,
new Planet of the Apes, Terminator, Back to the Future, Jurassic Park, and maybe Men in Black. So uh,
that's great ranking.
I'm gonna
That's
need
be
to
a
see.
fun one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna need a.
that's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be a
be
fun one.
seeing
Now that I've seen Expendables 4, I thought about doing Dirty Harry, Death Wish,
Die Hard,
Lethal Weapon, Die Hard. Um, what's the other big one there?
Expendable.
Rambo and Expendables. I thought I'd do those six. I don't care what the movies end up being, but I may do that because I've reviewed a lot of those movies. I don't know. I still may wait till I review a lot more of them, but we'll see.
I really want to see the Bruce Willis Death Proof. It looks more
Yeah,
like it looks good.
I thought more of a pure action ranking, so not adding any sci-fi franchises.
That's
So
what we're
like the
doing with.
Lethal Weapon, yeah, it's like Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, Rambo. I could add John Wick in there. I don't want to overload it either, though. Like
Yeah,
I don't want it to be 50 movies.
yeah, but John Wick is also would make it much harder. Like I made it a running joke that we have John Wick, Die Hard, Rambo, Daniel Craig's James Bond, Expendables, and
Yeah,
Mission Impossible in the same list, and it continues
that's
to be a
good.
running joke with everyone, including Nick, and Nick especially. Like it was all fun and games until you put Mission Impossible and John Wick in here. Now that's just mean because trying to rank
It's
those
hard.
ones with
Yeah,
everything is
it's hard.
impossible because as soon as you get to like I'm trying to see, I'm looking at the list because I have a list. It's just set to private. As soon as you get into like the thing that like number 17, these are all like my top 100 favorite films of all time. Maybe a little bit higher, maybe 16 or something, but as soon as you get to like 17, 16, I freaking adore these films. Like
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
I think a
Man, but
Van Damme Seagal, not so much franchises, but just taking
review series?
no, well, just taking the best of what they've done. Maybe 15 films, doing a little. There's so much you could do. There is so much you could do. So
Yes,
it's a
there
lot of
is.
fun. Absolutely.
But we just finished the original Star Wars, so anything new with you about this film?
No, I still like it. It's got a lot of great world building. It's still not my favorite Star Wars film. I like a lot more than this, but it's not the worst one by any means. I mean, you got to appreciate it for being the original and doing what it did and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's iconic. It's classic. It'll always be one of the greatest movies of the '70s. It will be one of the greatest movies of all time for just what it did and the doors it opened to for these kind of films, space operas and all that kind of stuff. Even though George Lucas was tapping into what he grew up with serials and going to the theater of weekly serial films and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. Okay, Chronicles of Yarnia. Ledger, the team did not due to hot, no placing besides the one that had 3 votes in total, at least for the boys team. Not sure about the girls team. There was a. Do you know what? Have you ever heard of a regatta?
Yes.
Is it? Yeah, it's like a rowing competition. So I'm in
Yep.
rowing, so I couldn't get to the regatta. So because I'm going to be going to something later, so I neglected to go to this. That's so. I think she's telling me what it was. Jennifer Pennington. Ledger, you should get your dad's favorite movies and rank them for Father's Day. Same for your mom for Mother's Day. I don't know if my dad cares enough about about movies to actually give me that. Same thing with my mom, and also
I tried
because I
doing
think
that. I asked my dad. I said, You got to write down your favorite movies, and I'll rank them on Father's Day." I forgot, but I
oh
lost his list. Like, and he's my dad's almost 70, so it's movies
harder.
like he loves Avatar, he loves The Outlaw Josie Wales, Jeremiah Johnson. He's from the Clint Eastwood, John Wayne generation, right?
Yeah, Chronicles of Yarn. Should I say what you're doing after this? No, I'm joking. But I don't need you trying to out proportion something and say something that a lot of people are going to misunderstand. Timothy. So that's what you have to do, Ledger. Buy a ticket to something. Don't say anything and sneak into Aliens. If it's rated R.
Tim, what are you doing to the kid, Ben? Stop.
Now I know what I should be doing. I'm joking, but I'm a bit too honest for that. I kind of can't do that. I don't
Well,
know
when I
why.
was a kid, I wish I was able to go see Friday the 13th in the theater, but I was too young and I couldn't watch any of that stuff.
Little Jason would have had some questions for his parents after watching that. Probably, if you get what
Yep.
I mean.
Yep.
Oh man, but I never have seen any of the Friday the 13th films. I've only seen I've seen a couple of the Halloween films. The first one, the second one, the new trilogy. I need to get on to H2O, and I recently saw Nightmare on Elm Street, which I freaking loved.
So
Uh,
how did you feel watching Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time, the original? How did it make
How
you
do you mean?
feel? Like, were you scared at all? Did you
Hmm?
get unnerved and settled at all?
There's some stuff that really kind of unnerved me a bit. Like I never seen the blood geyser thing before. All I knew was that it was very bloody. So that was very, shall we say, shocking about how much blood there was.
But
But
you see, you
it's a
could see how
concept. Yeah, go
you like
ahead.
the concept. You like the
Yeah, the
concept.
concept itself
Yeah.
is just so genius and scary because there's this guy that is in your dreams. So, what is the one thing that you can never do, and that you can never escape, and that's going to sleep because it is physically impossible. So, no matter
Yeah.
what you do, you can't escape that. So, the fact that they made a concept about that where you you legitimately cannot escape this guy no matter what you do because eventually you will fall asleep, and the way that they try and avoid some of that, and it also gives like the kills a really cool concept because you can literally do anything because it's a dream, which I hear they go a lot more into in the sequels. But I did think of that. The one thing that really legitimately unnerved me about a horror film was once in Alien, like I had never seen the chest burster scene. So
Oh,
the
really? So
well,
yeah, it shocked you,
I
right?
had seen the thing where he comes out, but I never seen like the way that the guy starts like shaking and just like screaming. So the amount of screaming and just the way it just gets louder and louder, and I had headphones in, so it's just blasting in your eardrums. So that actually did unnerve me quite a little bit.
Well,
But
yeah, I still watch Nightmare on Elm Street, and I didn't watch it as a young kid. I would say around 9, maybe 9 to 10. I
I
watched
would
Dream
consider that
Warriors.
young.
Yeah, I watched the third one first.
Oh,
Um, so which is one of my favorites too. But I watch it now, and I just how scary Freddy is, and seeing Tina in the body bag, and she's being dragged through the hallway like
oh
that
yeah,
just unnerving. It's very unnerving, especially if you're in a low lit basement, watching it in the basement, and it's
yeah,
if it's a bit cool, and it just. I was just curious, being how young you are, how you really, if the movie still works, you know what I mean, after
yeah.
40 years.
It still
That's
holds
all.
up.
Yeah.
But correction, Tina's death did kind of get under my skin a little bit. that one still does really hold up. Like the way that like she's bleeding, but she's like being dragged around the walls. That's a
Yeah,
really that's a bit of a messed up one. Freddy
yeah.
can be very messed up.
It's one of my favorite. It's still one of my favorite kills of all time, if
Yeah,
not my favorite kill. I love it. It's
what
just
is
the
your
way
favorite?
she goes up. It's the way she just spins up, and it was all done by rotating the room and
Yeah, I
turning it
know.
upside down, and
That's kind of like it's like what they did in Inception. I don't know if you've seen Inception, but there's a
yeah,
scene
yeah, I
where
have,
yeah, you know the fight scene that they have where like
yeah,
the room is spinning. They legitimately did that by just putting Jordan Jason Gordon Levitt or I'm screwing this
yeah.
name up, I
I
think.
see what you're saying.
Yeah, him from The Dark Knight Rises and putting him in a room where it's just rotating on its own. So it's a really good it's really cool seeing it just rotate around and it's a fantastic fight scene. I'll tell you that. It's my second favorite Nolan film. That's a masterpiece of a film, I'll tell you that. Chronicles of Narnia. I'm gonna do it. But anyway, but the only film I can tell you, if Jennifer Pennington is still here, the only film I can tell you I know that my dad loves are the Lord of the Rings, the original trilogy. I know he loves that, and probably Empire Strikes Back is in there. Timothy, just remember, without Star Wars and what George Lucas did, there'd be no movies like Jurassic Park. No, Star Wars broke the mold how movies were made. Yes, Jurassic Park is a masterpiece. We need that. That's in my top, I think, 5 of all time. I actually no, it's my number 6. Skyfall is my number 5. Yes, I adore Skyfall. Chronicles of Yarnia. Thought you were gonna go before this. I didn't realize it was that late in the day. Oh, so anything else you want to say? Because I don't want to keep you waiting from anything.
No, I just appreciate you for having me on, and thanks for reaching out to me. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. I always like doing watch parties. They're a lot of fun to do with other people. So and just talk
Yeah, I
about
mean,
movies.
this is another one to do. If I ever do a Rocky thing, then I'll be sure to keep you in mind because you're like the biggest Rocky fan I know.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
still have one more to do on my watch party series. I got to do Rocky Balboa.
that's what I thought. Yeah,
I'm
Balboa.
not doing the Creed ones, at least not at this time. So
Oh,
I'm gonna be closing that one out. So and Last Blood. That's the last Rambo one I got to do for a watch party. So
if the person you're doing the watch party with has a fallout and can't do it, I Last Blood is a potential one because I love Last Blood. And
that's
I
good to
mean,
hear. Actually, I like
I,
it too.
as much as I went in with like low expectations, being like people saying this film was like one of the worst movies of all time, which I've heard people say that film is if that's one of the worst films of all time, we got a pretty good amount of movies because that film
Yes.
is great, and I love some of the kills there, like because Rambo is one of the few characters that have you ever noticed that the older he gets, the more deadly he gets.
Yeah, it seems that way. It's more
He gets
vicious.
so much more intimidating to the point where he is terrifying and like there's like one scene, remember when he talks about I should have broke your neck 10 years ago?
Yeah,
Like
he was
that is
very
terrifying.
intimidating.
And especially like when he then like slams his hands on the door
Yeah.
and how big he is. He seems so big, yet he's only an old man. He's like in his 70s.
It's the way they're
Probably
shooting him now it's the way they shoot you, right? But yeah, those are good flicks, man. I love some Rambo.
I know. That's why if you ever do a Rambo watch along series, I'm good with any of them. I love Rambo. One of my favorite movie franchises. Just so fun and consumable. Yeah, Timothy says one of my favorite kills is when Rambo comes out of the mud wall.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is that in part 2? Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great one. I love that. I just rewatched part 2, so I thought that kill was awesome. Like the scene where he's like taking out all those guys was pretty good. Timothy says, "Great show, guys. Thanks. Thank you all so much."
Thank you.
And let us end this thing.